Just getting the microphone working. I'm not sure if it's working. 1, 2, 1, 2. Where's microphone? 2. I'm getting a fan in it, that's what's going on. Check 1, 2. Now, something went weird. Something went very weird. Hi. How was everyone? I don't know what's going on. My microphone decided that it was dropping all of the pre-settings that I had on it. And I can't tell. You guys are going to have to tell me if it sounds all right from your end. I can listen to it on the pre, but it doesn't have. Oh, I guess I could listen to it at a delay. It's probably not going to be too bad. Let me just try that. I hate doing this. You can hear yourself. 1, 2, 1, 2. It's bizarre. 1, 2. Yeah, you can hear the fan, and I don't like it. It's gonna have to do, people. God, it sounds weird talking to yourself. Okay, what do we got? We got another Saturday. Hello, everyone. Yay! Welcome, everyone. Let's get you guys happening. I need to do that. 2 up. Let's do 2 up again. 2 up. And chatties. What the hell? You can see me behind. Hello. It's weird. Okay, let's find out why that's doing that. Cropping, here we go. Whoa, why is it zoomed in? It's weird. It's like it's all zoomed in. That's weird. I don't get it. I'm going to close that one. Just give me a sec. I'll put you guys up here. Ooh, JX3D. Pop out chat. We'll catch this before it disappears. Quick, quick, quick. Hey, there we go, it's working. Right, now, I'll just do what I do normally, and that is put myself in the corner. Yay! Actually, I do want to hear myself a little bit. A little bit, there we go, turn that down a bit. I think maybe the pre's too hot. It's probably better. Okay, I don't know what the hell went on. Oh, I do know what went on. I was playing around with power today and I unplugged the audio interface and it's kind of like it's just lost all of its settings, which is stupid because it's on a memory. Go figure. I might just minimize that just in case. Let us know in the chat if you guys are unhappy with the sound, because we've got to get it right. If it's not the same as what you're used to, throw your synth at the screen. Ah, dearie me. Okay, you've probably noticed that there's some weird looking people in the chat room this week, and it's not because they dress funny. Well, it might be, but we can't actually see them. It's because they've got membership badges next to their names. And I have finally got off my butt, and you guys who are regular YouTubers will know that channels do this stuff. So I've finally got off my butt and done it here. Now, the whole purpose of membership badges I'm kind of sort of working out, but I think what we'll be doing is we'll be doing content. Well, I'll be doing content. We as in you watch it and I do it. You sit back and relax and I do the hard work. I'll be doing content, and I'm going to be doing two types of content. I'm going to be doing short and sweet public videos, and then I'll be doing longer, more in-depth versions of those same videos. And not all of them will be like that, but I've got a whole bunch planned coming up. I've already started working on the scripts and the content and a whole bunch of stuff there. So that's kind of one thing that I'll be doing. The other side with membership is we've got some really cool looking emoticons. If you didn't see the video that I shot out during the week, there was a couple of examples on there. You can have things like throw your synth at the screen, synth lord, there's a few. And let's see if I've got them here. Custom emojis. Here we go. So this one is throw your synth at the screen. Let's see if that comes out in the chat. There you go. This one is best meme. It's like a little award, best meme award. I actually made these in Photoshop or something. Can't remember if it was Photoshop. I did this about a year ago and it just sat there and I thought, well, I better do something about it. That one there is Synth Lord, that's the hat. And the last one is gas. There you go. Gas. I'll probably do some more. Probably do, I don't know if we can work out how to do some sort of way where if you guess this, name that synth, you can wear the badge for a week. I don't know. We'll try and work all this crap out. It's just a bit of fun, really. It's just a bit of fun, and like it's not for everyone. Some people think it's like cringe, but hey, I've done it. We'll see how it goes. I don't even know how to get my keyboard back now. Oh, there it is. Cool. Cool. So yeah, jump on in if you want to be a member. There'll be benefits to certain levels of membership, and I've already pre-programmed those in. Now, I probably should have actually kept a copy of what they actually meant. There was VCF, VCA, VCO, or something like that. I think there were 3 levels. And if you're one of these people that likes to paste links in, you'll probably want to get I think it's the VCO one, because that'll let you paste links into the chat during the live streams, which is pretty handy because a lot of people like to say, hey, hey Ranz, check out my video or whatever. And you can do that. What else? So you probably would have seen too that we've started rebranding, or I've started rebranding this show. It's been about 50 episodes since, maybe a little bit more, since we started calling it Synth Geekery. And I'm, the Ranzee channel. It'll always be, at this stage, it's not going to move it to a new channel on its own or anything like that, but I want to differentiate the show. I don't want it to be called Ranzee Show, because it's kind of not really about me. It's about us. It's about us loving synths and being, geeking out on them. That's what it's about. So the Synth Geekery name has been, you guys have been aware that's what it's been called, but we never really gave it a logo. We never really branded it. So yeah, I busted out the logo or Photoshop again during the week, and I come up with a pretty crappy logo. But yeah, we'll see what you guys think. I'll just chuck it on the screen now. I'll put the white version on. There we go. So there's the logo. Tell us what you think. I just wanted to go with something that was kind of a little bit more modern looking and very simple, just very simple, clean and modern. I thought some of my graphics were starting to look a bit 80s, probably because that's when I was a kid. Why have you gone green? Because you're now a member. you're a member of the channel. Isn't that cool? So you get the special color. For the first, I think you do change color as you stay your membership stays longer. So like for example, after a month, I think you go up to the next color. Now I need to double check on all this stuff because I'm forgetting half of it. Let me just go into monetization and memberships and it will tell me all about it in here. Okay, so where is it? Okay, badges. Okay, it's under badges. So green is a new member. Everyone's going to be a new member because we're all starting. And then after a month, you go a different color. I think it's like a light blue, and then you go yellow after 2 months, and orange after 6 months, and pink after 12 months, and red after 24 months. It's like a longevity thing. I talked about the emojis already, so that's done. Now the levels, this is really kind of dry stuff, but levels are, LFO is the base level, and you get access to loyalty badges, emojis, member-only live chats, and priority reply to comments. VCF is the next level up, which gives you this, the same as all LFO, but you get early access to new videos, member shout-outs, you get photos and status updates, and you get exclusive membership-only videos, which is the thing I was talking about before. And then VCO, which is the top one, you get connection on social media, moderator on live streams. So right now in the live stream, if you want to be a moderator, there's one quick way of getting in there, and member-only live streams, which I'll be doing once I get some people in there. So that's what the membership levels are. If you guys need suggestions on what you think they should also include, let us know. Drop us a line on social media, or just flag my name here if you can, see if I can get my attention here. So that's what that is about. If you've never come across that before, it's just a kind of a YouTube stickiness thing to channels. It's about channel loyalty. Some people, like I said, some people like it and some people don't. So that's cool. That is cool. I need to close that window now. What else? I've been mucking around in the studio, as you can probably see behind me. So you can see behind me here, I've got that little hutch thing that you see there used to be, in my old studio, it used to be just to the right of me, and I used to have all my stuff underneath it. And it was just kind of sitting in another room collecting dust, and I wasn't too happy with the height of those laptop tiers. You can see, what's the other way? You can see the laptop tiers on the other table just there, and you can see the difference in height. It's, you know, I want it lifted up a bit higher so I can see the Novation peak and things in there. So I'll probably, what I might do is give it a lick of paint. It's got a white top and it's got like wooden sides, like a pine side. So I might lick it all white and make it sort of blend in. I'm kind of working out what I want to do with it. Let's get the PTZ camera on it and see if we can get a bit of a close-up for you guys. Can't even remember where. We can do that. We can do that here. We can do that. We can do that, he says, but he needs to put the right camera on. Okay, we need to zoom out a bit. And I need to show you guys. All right, so this is it's just hand-built. It's like really, really, really rush job, just with some, you know, bit of pine. Now I've got a monitor sort of screwed to the back of that because I was going to use that as a soldering hutch, and I was going to use my station as doing that. I've put the ADAT on the side there. I don't know if I'm going to keep it like that. Anyway, that's kind of what it looks like anyway. So close up for you guys. Yeah. Go back to chatting to you. Better than chatting to me on my own. No, that's not it. There. That's it. All right, now I need to grab this window so I can see what you guys are saying. I've just allowed a message to go through. Cool. Now let's catch up on what you guys are saying. All right. I had a chat to the wife about that whole back wall there, which we were just talking about, and I was talking about getting the Jansen, what do you call it? The frames that we're talking about, the Jensen frames, or whatever they're called. She doesn't want me to get them. She wants me to keep the desks there. So, yeah. So I'm going to have to come up with some other solution there. So more woodwork. Yes! ESQ1 does weigh a ton. Now, the ESQ1 is there because it needs a battery replacement. And this will be the second time I've replaced a battery in it. And at this stage, I think one of the EPROMs, or the EPROM, I think it's only got one EPROM in it, may be on its way out as well. So I'll probably have to jizzy up the EPROM. Yeah, so that is going to be an issue, I guess. I'm probably going to have to go and get my glass filled up. Anyway, what else are you guys saying? It doesn't weigh anything down. The way that thing is built, that I built, it's like there's literally solid pieces of wood on three sides, and yeah, that's definitely been held up nicely. Yeah. Okay, so other than that, what I thought I'd do is while I've got you guys chatting away, let's see if we can get some noodling happening, and we'll wait for the other guys to turn up. Let's just make this a bit of... Rightio. That was a bit of fun. That was just me moodling about. So I'll bring you guys back and I'll tell you what was happening, because that's kind of what we do here. All right, so I need to get the camera on. Hang on a sec, I've just got a question here. Let me answer that first. She has 500,000 subs and not many uploads. I wonder what she's doing that Ranzee isn't. Who are we talking about? Who are we talking about? Sorry, I didn't see. Yeah, I didn't see. Sorry, you're gonna have to let me know in a sec. Before we talk about that, I am going to go to this view here. Sorry, it is upside down. I do apologise, but give me a second and I'll rectify that by pressing this camera here. Okay, this is a nifty case. Yes, whoever said that is correct. It is a nifty case, but in the nifty case is probably more important are the 2500 series modules. And during the week, I finally, after so many months, probably even a year actually, of waiting, have got the oscillator. I've had all these other modules for ages and I haven't been able to truly hear what this thing sounds like until you get the oscillator. And the reason why this oscillator is so important, because you could chuck any oscillator through this and it would still make a sound, or the filter, you could still hear the filter and all that sort of stuff. Yes, but this oscillator here is really, really cool. And it's really cool for a lot of reasons. It's actually based on the original 1004P and 1004T. It's kind of like a hybrid of the two out of the 2500 series. And when they actually originally built the 2500, they actually built this oscillator so stable, like it just stays in tune. And at the time, 1970, you think big modular synths, and Moog had a really bad name for themselves about their oscillators going out of tune, so they were constantly putting it in tune and it would float away, and that was just the Moog way. And Art brought out this amazing oscillator, and it definitely stays in tune. I've actually been keeping an eye on it. It's been pretty quick to warm up to as well, but that is not the only cool thing about that oscillator. That's actually a sort of an intro cool thing, but the really cool thing about it is this waveform selection down here. And you get left click, it's a three position switch. So to the left is normal, and to the middle is off, and to the right is inverted. So all your waveforms can be mixed. You can actually turn multiple waveforms on. So at the moment I've got, what have we got? I need to do something magic here. Yes, I've got effects. Let me turn the effects off. It's Magneto, so it's not too bad. Okay, no effects now. Let's get that nice and loud for you guys. Let's turn the resonance down, so we're just getting a nice... So that is just the sawtooth wave, and if I flick it to the middle, you can see there's a gate coming through when I hit the keyboard, but there's nothing coming out. And if I flick it to the right, that's an inverted sawtooth wave. It sounds the same because there's nothing beating against it. And I love this concept of waveforms against waveforms that are inverted, and here's why. Because if I put that sawtooth wave with a triangle wave and they're both at the same thing, you will hear this kind of craziness, right? But if I then invert this triangle, it sounds different. And the thing is, if you think about mathematically about all the different possibilities you can have by mixing 5 waveforms with each other, either non-inverted or inverted, and then on top of that you've got pulse width modulation, it's insane. The amount of waveforms that you could generate from this is absolutely incredible. And it's not Behringer that have come up with this. This is ARP that came up with this friggin' like before I was born, like just before I was born. But it is insane. So I'm kind of saying, you yay, thank God I've got this oscillator, because now I can actually truly hear what this is supposed to sound like. And it's funny because like you guys were getting them overseas. I think there's some guys who have had theirs for at least, you know, at least 6 to 12 months they've been coming, but we never ever got them here. So I just had to wait and wait and wait. And I got sick of waiting. So I reached out to Behringer and I said, guys, what the F? I can't get an oscillator. All I want to do is just try this synth out. I've got everything else here. Not everything, but I've got most of the modules. I think there's 4 more for me still to get. But the most important ones are here. And I want to try this out. I want to just, you know, I want to hear what this sounds like. And oh my God, has it been an absolute journey since, I mean, when did it come? Today's Saturday. It came either Thursday or Friday, I forget. It's only been like, feels like it's only been just unboxed. So there's that. And I didn't, so like I said, I don't have all of the modules. I'll tell you which ones I don't have in a second. Should we go back to this view again? So you can see here what I've got. I've got the 1004 oscillator. I've got the 1047 multi-mode resonant filter. We're going to have a listen to that in a sec. I've got the 1033. Now this is a D-ADSR. This is a delay ADSR. So it's got a gate delay. This is actually the same as the 1003 module, except the 1003 doesn't have the gate delay. That's actually a cool feature. Both of them work the same way as the exponential envelope generator. Then you've got the mod amp, which is a crazy ring mod VCA. And then on the far right underneath my photo is the filter amp, which is 1006. Okay, and also I've got this one. I don't really know why I bought this. It was actually pretty cheap. It worked out to be about £60. So I thought, well, £60, that's pretty cheap. Now, I don't really know a lot about the technology that went into the original noise generator and whether Behringer have actually recreated this properly or not. But there's actually 2 noise generators in here, and both noise generators can do white and pink noise. And sorry, I had to read it because I forgot. And there's also a random generator as well. So yeah. That one I'm kind of cool. I'm kind of interested. Like I've always felt that synths need at the very, very basic level, they need an oscillator, they need a filter, they need an envelope generator, they need a VCA, and they need a noise generator. And the reason why they need a noise generator is so that you can blend the noise in with your synth tone to give it different sort of timbre sort of tones and stuff. And I think noise is important. The difference between white and pink, if you're wondering, if anyone has ever, like you guys will know because you guys are all gurus, right? But if you're ever wondering the difference between white and pink, is basically the pink is just like a filtered version of the white, from what I understand and what I read as well. In fact, the ARP manual, the original 2500 manual says that. Questions are coming in. I better listen to the questions. Sorry, I do talk a bit. Cressheads asked me, would you go for the 3500 modules or the System 100 overall? 2500 you mean? Well, I've got both. So I'm a bit of an ARP fan, and there's a couple of companies in the world that are doing ARP stuff, and some of them I can't afford. Some of them are really like priced themselves to the point where they're probably making like 1 or 2 of them a year and they've got to justify it. I can't afford that. Unfortunately, the one that I can afford is Behringer. But I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, this stuff has been extremely impressive so far. I'm going to do some videos on each one of these modules, so don't worry, there'll be stuff coming out over the next few weeks. And I'll go into nerdiness on each module. I'll go into comparing what the original is like to this. I don't have an original 2500 to play, but I'll be able to compare it with the engineering specs, and we'll be able to discuss that sort of stuff in that. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So as my ARP ownership goes, I don't own any original ARP gear, unfortunately, because it's just very hard to get it here where I live in the most remote city in the world. But I do own a Korg ARP Odyssey, a Behringer 2600, and the Behringer 2500 Eurorack modules. So there's my ARP ownership, if you want to call it that. They're just one of my favourite synths, and that's just how it is. Okay, let me scroll back to... Okay, I don't know who Mimi Sounds is, guys, so I do apologise. I don't know everyone on the internet, believe it or not. Yes, so anyway, I am Sasquatch. I am actually happy buying Behringer. When I say unfortunately, what I meant is, I don't mean it's unfortunate that I'm buying Behringer. I meant it's unfortunate that I can't afford to buy the more expensive and the used secondhand ARP stuff. That's what I meant. So this is a godsend for me because it gets me into the world of ARP, and it's actually very, very affordable. So that's not unfortunate. That's brilliant. But what I meant by unfortunate is I can't afford to buy an original ARP 2500. Not many could. I definitely can't afford some of the remakes of it, and I definitely can't afford some of the people that are doing, like there's a company called CMI, I think they're called, and they're doing 2500 modules, the actual real size 2500 modules, and you can actually make a cabinet with them, and you're looking at like $50,000 by the time you put these things together. I just haven't got that sort of money. It's a hobby for me. It's a hobby for me. It's not a business. You can't really justify spending that sort of money. It's stupid. It's getting stupid. That's what I meant. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a fanboy, Behringer fanboy. I'm not one of them, but I'm actually pretty happy with some of the things that they do. They actually do a pretty good job. And when they did the ARP stuff, they got the guy from AM Synth to come in from the UK, and he's made all this ARP stuff before. So it's kind of like, it's really his stuff. It's a bit like Roland getting Maleko to do the System 500 modules, or SE Studio Electronics to do the SEO2. It's kind of like that. So, you know, it's really him. We'll talk about that a bit later, actually. You know what? Like, one thing that we should all know and just accept, because it's been happening for at least since the 80s that I'm aware of, is the Chinese are very good at copying. And they're getting to the point where now you can actually even copy an iPhone and you wouldn't even know it's a copy. So when I was a kid, I used to go to places like Singapore and Hong Kong, and you can get yourself a Rolex for like $50. They weren't Rolexes. They were just like copies, but they looked so visually exact. I mean, obviously these things fell apart after about 6 months, but they are really, really good at copying stuff. And, you know, as long as there's someone sitting next to them when they're doing this stuff and saying, hey, I'm the quality assurance guy. I want to make sure you don't cut corners with quality. To a degree, as long as that happens, I think I'm quite comfortable with that. And the other thing I'm quite comfortable with is I'm quite comfortable with them copying stuff that's no longer being made, or the patents have expired, and do you know what I mean? There's no law against doing it. I'm quite comfortable with that because I really want to put myself into the position where I can actually use this stuff that's it's very difficult for me to obtain here. So for me, that's kind of my point. Yeah, look, public relations is a tricky game. I think the world we live in today, there's a lot of people that get upset, and there's an old saying, you know, people have to walk on eggshells. I think that if they were doing what they did 20 years ago, that half the stuff would just be, you know, no one would care. The things that they used to put on TV 20 years ago was like inherently racist and misogynistic. Like, there were so many things that we'd never ever get away with today. So when you think about what Yuli's been, you know, told off for doing, and some of it I agree that he should have been told off, and some of it I don't. But like, the thing is that they cop a massive hammering on social media, and I don't know why half of it is even, you know, there. I mean, really, it's just people, I think, just, you know, there's a fight in the playground, everyone's jumping on top. It's kind of that thing. But I mean, I think some of it's warranted, but nowhere near the amount that is in reality. It's business, you know. He's cracking heads, and he's, you know, doing it for a reason. So there's going to be people with they're going to have a gripe to grind with him. But the way I see it is the only time that affects us is if we have skin in that game. So if we are a person that works for one of these companies, an employee, it's affecting our income, or we're a person that has some crazy moral ethics agenda that you just haven't got anything better to do in your life and you want to hold on to that sort of stuff, then great. Other than that, I think from a musician's point of view, I will just kind of, something comes to me, and if I look at it and it works and I'm happy with how it operates, then it's going to get a thumbs up from me. If it comes in and it's crap and it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, it's going to get a thumbs down from me, and I'll send it back. And I've done that with Behringer stuff, and I've done that with heaps of other gear from other companies as well. I was the guy that actually originally put a video up with the System 100 oscillator modules going out of tune. And as a result, you know, eventually Behringer went and reissued a new version of that oscillator, found what the fault was and fixed it. So I'm not scared to call them out. There's no problem there. So yeah. The problem we've got, I think, these days is that we've lost a little bit of our patience, I think. I think we've lost a bit of our tolerance as well. I don't know. I don't really get too ethical and moral today, but I think if we kind of chilled out a bit and not get on our bandwagon so much, some of this stuff, let's just think of the kind of core here is that what are we here for? We're here to enjoy synthesizers, learn them, and enjoy how they sound, and listen to the great artists that we have grown to love. That's kind of what we're about. And I think all this kind of arguments and stuff, just leave it. Just let other people muck around with that, and we'll just continue, you know. we're the ones that are going to be having fun. Let those people pick noses and pick grinds, you know. That's what I think you should do. Anyway, let's get back to what I was doing before. And we're going to have guys turning up in the next 10 minutes or so, so we'll just kind of finish up here. What I wanted to do is, I wanted to talk to you about, so I've taught you about the oscillator. Okay, yes. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, let's go to this view here. So sometimes it's a bit annoying because I've got to change cameras. Okay, so I'm doing a bit of rearranging in the studio, but right next to me, I've got the Pro 1. And you guys remember last week we did that episode on what can you do with a mono synth, and you know, we kind of mucked around with that. It was a pretty fun thing to do, and I think got a lot of people sort of falling back in love with their mono synths. I mean, hopefully that was my goal. Hopefully that's worked. So I got the Pro 1 out. I was actually originally going to use the Pro 1 in last week's show, but I decided to use the Moog Slim Fatty. And the reason why I decided to use the Moog Slim Fatty was because that thing has been sitting in my cupboard for about 2 years, whereas this has been used a lot more. So I just wanted to give it some love. Anyway, so what I've done is I've got this now plugged into Eurorack. I don't want to take this out. I can take this out of this chassis and actually mount it in Eurorack too. It's one of those ones that you can do that with. But for now, it's not going to stay here permanently. I've got a USB at the back controlling it via MIDI, and I'm just using the main output here, and it's just going into one of my, this is my VTA matrix here. I'll show you about that in a sec. Anyway, one of the cool things that you can do, I don't know if you guys know this with the Pro 1, is you can self-patch it. And in this case, what I'm doing here is I'm bypassing what the mod wheel modulator section here is doing, and I'm feeding it to the LFO out, right? And the reason why I'm doing that is so that I can actually get that to affect my frequency part of the envelope. And that's how I get this sound. Let me just go back to our little shindig. Turn all this down and I can use these amount knobs over here to dictate what this connection's doing. So instead of me using the mod wheel on my keyboard, I can actually bypass that by self-patching. And I just thought it's a really, really cool little thing. Like, don't be scared if you've got gear that has a bit of CV stuff on top. Don't be scared to play around with it. Like, just start plugging stuff in until the smoke comes out. I don't know. That might be the bad thing, but yeah, just literally just start mucking around. I think it's a really cool thing. I got frustrated with this because I couldn't work out how I can affect the envelopes. And one of the things I love about Eurorack is you can actually send CV into envelopes and you can attenuate them. So I worked out you could do it that way, which I thought was cool. The other thing I wanted to do is, and I haven't got around to doing it, was I wanted to start using the MS-101 over here. This is not an SH-101, I know, but it's exactly the same. It's got the Curtis chips in it, the 3340 oscillator. It sounds pretty similar. Let's not argue. And it was cheap. I'm a real cheap ass. The actual CV and gate part of that is actually really, really cool. It's very stable, and I actually find it a little bit better than my key steps. I've got a couple of these little key steps lying around, these things, and I just kind of find it a little bit better. So there's that, and not only that, I'll be able to use the oscillator and the filter and all that sort of stuff while I'm at it too. So that's going to come into the fray. But yeah, I kind of got this feel where I was kind of wanting to do a little bit of an ambient thing. No drums. I'm kind of getting sick of programming drums, and I just thought, why do I have to program drums all the time? I don't. There's the answer. Let's do something without drums, or do something with percussive noise, but have it random. Let's not, get worked up about getting that perfect snare. So yeah, let's play with randomness. Now, that is not the only cool thing that happened during the week. The other cool thing that happened during the week, and if I get my camera happening, is so you guys remember just before Christmas I had that module which was called the ECR1, and it had a terrible noise coming out of it. And I was really wanting just some sort of really cool, funky, I don't know, just like I actually really wanted to have a convolution reverb module. That's really what I wanted. But instead, I ended up, getting quite frustrated, and I wasn't happy. And I really just wanted to have a bit more of a flexibility when it comes to like an effect. So I managed to find myself, why has it gone to there? You absolute pain in the butt, you are. Don't you hate that when you just do something and then it undoes it? And you just think to yourself, why do I bother? All right, don't touch anything. Good. There's the FX Aid by Happy Nerding. This is not the XL, this is just the normal one. I did tell you guys last week that I was getting this, so it did arrive. And the reverb that you guys hear is, let me see if I can get something. That's the reverb on it. It's beautiful. I'll just mute myself. The cool thing about that module is it has a whole bunch of, it's digital, it's a whole bunch of algorithms in it, and I don't know how close they are to the real ones, but it's got black hole, it's got clouds, which is so black hole's an Eventide, clouds is a Strymon one, it's got a shimmer in there. The shimmer one sounds very, very different to the Strymon shimmer, and it sounds different, I think, to the Valhalla shimmer. So I don't know, it's probably closer to the Valhalla. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of reverb stuff, plate, studio, blah, blah, blah. And there's a whole bunch of delays, and it's quite intuitive how you get it. So these little two lights that you see here, you've got two toggle buttons, and basically there's like a little matrix that is in the manual. It tells you what those lights are and what algorithm you're running on it. So you can actually CV control that, which is pretty cool. So I could send it a pulse and it could change the effect. Not only that, but if you're sick of that particular bank of algorithms, you can upload, there's quite a few others that are on there that you can download off their website, and you can upload those. So there's a whole bunch of actually really, really cool stuff just for a little Eurorate module. It only cost me, this was secondhand. Sorry, I need to get a drink of water. This was secondhand. It was only about 150 Australian, which is what, 75 pounds. So I got a pretty good deal with that, I think. So I was quite happy. A lot of my modules are used, by the way, because that's all I can afford. Yeah, I was talking to Inverted Popes about this a while ago, and I said that I was really kind of liking it. I was kind of tossing up between the FX Aid or the Tip Top one. There's a Tip Top reverb module, Z-Verb or something, which is also nice. I mean, that was just one algorithm. I don't want to go through all the algorithms because I've got like a patch that I want to muck around with. So, Max saying, Ranzee, I've realized Ranzoon is Rangoon and Rangoon is rings. And my actual question is, do you use your Typhoon much? I just got a Typhoon. I do, but at the moment I'm not. So you just saw the Typhoon in the other shot. So if I take my, why does it do that? There you go. There's the Typhoon down the bottom there. And then up there, if I move the light out the way, is the Ranzoon, which is, Ranzoon was, it's just a bit of fun from the guy, Synth from LA. He's just made a custom plate for me. It's the Rangoon, yeah. Now, so the Typhoon is clouds, it's a clone, and it's got more control and more algorithm funkiness in it. And you can actually change the firmware as well and do a different algorithm. And the Ranzoon is rings. And I'm using rings right now. I'm not using Typhoon right now because I'm using FX Aid at the moment. In that little setup that I've actually got 6 different effects modules. Not actually, one of them's not a module, one of them's a pedal. And I've gone through this before. So I've got the phaser from System 100. There's an audio delay from the same module, which is the 172 module. I forget, one guy in the channel bought one during the week. I forget who it was. The MXR flanger, which is a guitar pedal. The Magneto, which is a tape delay, and the FX Aid. So that's all the stuff going on in just those modules there. And one of the things I love, I'm kind of repeating myself each week, is the fact that I can, g'day Andy, I can, through my little VCA matrix here, I can send 4 inputs to 4 different outputs and return them. And then these matrix of 4x4 knobs, so 16 knobs here, is the attenuation of how much I want to send those. And on the right-hand side, there's a bank of knobs here, which is my final mix. And then on my BX mixer, I've got 2 sends and 2 stereo returns. So in each channel, I can attenuate the FX sends on 2 different sends. So that gives me 6 different effects just in that little setup there, which is so freaking cool. You can use guitar pedals, you can use, you could run it back through into Ableton, because I've got a ADAT module here, which I can plumb audio back into Ableton, and I could use an effect in Ableton, which I showed you guys a few weeks ago. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty groovy. Yeah, I haven't tried the new firm. I was talking to the guy that did my Typhoon, and one of the things I was asking him, he hasn't got back to me yet, is did he use a different DSP chip to what Emily used for mutable instruments? And the reason why I'm asking in that is because it's a bit noisy, and the mutable instruments cloud module is not as noisy, because I've heard one, and I'm just thinking maybe he skimped a bit on the DSP chip. Look what we've got, people. We've got people. Hello, I didn't hear the doorbell. Oh, and he's just... It's all right, mate. I feel you. I feel you.
Honestly, it's all off. Everything that I've done is now off. It's off. It's effed off, and now it still seems to be glitchy. So it's actually my internet connection as much as anything else. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. It's bloody stupid.
Look, don't punish yourself too much, because don't forget there is the element of you and all the electrons of you coming all the way down to Australia and then back out again. So
all my electrons bouncing around the world.
Just make sure you don't go around sharp corners, because they'll just fall off.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Darren.
Good day.
Hi, Darren. Hi, Ranz.
Hi. I was just chatting to the guys about a whole bunch of stuff. I'll do another sort of ramble on what I sort of said at the start of my early show, so you guys can be introduced to it. But just for now, let's make sure everything's working. So I think you guys are sounding okay. I just want to double check though.
Hey, hello. Is it coming through okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I think you're good. Darren, I just want to try you, Darren.
Yeah. Hello. 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, so I might just knock you back a smidge. You're good though. You don't need to change anything your end. Okay, fantastic. Now you would have noticed that today we don't really have a topic, and there's a reason for it, because when I've got too many things that are unrelated to talk about in the show, it just becomes like a Saturday Sonority show, really. But there is...
Sentience just said I'm a bit quiet. Is that the case?
No, you're just
a bit quiet.
You're just a bit further away from the microphone. When you get closer to that microphone and get all nice and intimate with it, like a radio announcer, you're fine.
Trying to get it. Oh.
Hello.
Right. Okay.
It's 12 past the hour.
Something like that.
Yeah. It's not really. It's more like...
Quarter to the hour.
It's quarter to the hour, yes. Please phone in with requests. Oh, that's what I want to talk to you guys about. Okay, cool. So I have got I've talked to JX3D about this. We sort of spun the idea a couple of months ago. I've got a really cool idea, and I want to sort of see if the chatties are keen on this. It's more not for you guys, Darren and Andy, but more for the chatties. So what I would like to do is I would like to try out doing audio calls. And we're going to use Discord to do it, because Discord has an audio call function in it. So I might need a week or two to get this set up. I'm not sure if I can have it ready for next week or not. But who kind of feels like they would come on the show if they didn't have to show their face, you know, for a little while, and ask questions and that sort of stuff. Yeah, see,
A bit
Darren,
like that.
a bit like that. Yeah. Yes.
Actually, that's much better. That I've got to admit.
Yeah. You've now reached the dark side of Darren. He's no longer with the Force. He's with the Sith Lords. So
they're purple.
He could. Yeah, he could. Anyway, so who likes the idea of that coming in on the show as a voice call? Maybe you could do that. So there's a few people that would say yes to that. So
turn it into radio.
Well, I sort of think we could do a little Ask Me Anything section at some stage of the show.
Within reason.
Well, for you it'll be anything, but for me it'll be within reason. Yeah. I can always drop the call. So I just kind of want to give the chatties more
Ranzee
opportunity.
phone in.
Yeah, give the chatties more opportunity. Yeah. So Andy, I don't know if you saw before, but let me just.
No, I've just got in from sort of doing some work and stuff. So
that's okay. You're allowed to just get in. I finally got the oscillator.
Ooh. Does it oscillate?
It oscillates, and not only does it oscillates forward and back. It oscillates inversely, and non-inversely, and even there's an off. There's an even off position, so it goes off. It really goes off, as they say in the classics, like a frog in a sock.
So those switches mean that you can switch in different waveforms at different times. Just switch them on. You can. So it's not like a mixer. It's an on and off for each of those different waveforms.
Yeah. So
you can have it on, off, inverted.
You can turn them all on, or a multiple of on, non-inverted and inverted. So left is non-inverted and right. So it's a three position toggle switch. So and one of the other things about this oscillator that I absolutely adore is it gives you quite a decent waveform selection. Just from the general point of view, you've got sine, triangle, square, sawtooth, and pulse has pulse width modulation. So Nick will be happy. But when you start blending all those waveforms together, you're getting a whole bunch more waveforms. Does that make sense? You can put a triangle with a square and a sine. Like you could slew your sawtooth by combining the sine with the sawtooth. You know what I mean? Like those sort of cool things would happen. Now you can't. The only thing that you can't do with this, which I think, this beckons a mod, doesn't it? Don't you think? There's a couple of things that just really scream at me right now. One is, if this got the ability to have 5 different waveforms, then somewhere in that circuit you'd easily be able to plumb those as separate outputs, right? That's the first one. The second one that beckons is all of those need an attenuator so that you can blend them differently. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not just all on or off. It's like, it's a bit like I used to have this Jack Russell dog and he had 2 speeds. It was a bit like that. Yeah, I think kind of some sort of attenuation of blending them would be cool. But I mean, that design of that oscillator, that was like 1969, I think Alan started working on that, right? And it came out in 70, 2500 started coming out. That's a long time ago. That's like 51 years ago.
He probably was working on it earlier than that.
Possibly, yeah. Well, the thing that's really good about, I told the guys earlier, is that when he brought that out, the selling point of that oscillator is that they're really stable in tuning wise. So whereas the Moog, the big modular Moog ones, they used to sort of drift out of tune all the time. That I can attest to. It's been rock solid in terms of tuning. And in fact, the tuning on it is actually really nice. It's got a really big range too. So I'll show you. I like to show things. What should we do? Sine? We'll do a sine. Show me the sine. We'll go really high, won't it? Wow. Let's not do that. Let's go low. Doesn't that sound beautiful?
That's deep. Even in these crappy headphones.
I mean, this goes, I'm not going to go too high, but this goes really high. That's a beautiful oscillator. It does, if you're wondering, it does 8 octaves. So, and it also has an LFO mode as well, a low mode.
But there's no switch to step between the octaves. I think Sin was just saying it's just free range.
Yeah.
Free range knob, Darren.
A free range knob.
Oh, not a free range.
Yes. So, I mean, all the organic people would love it, wouldn't they? Because it's being free range.
Exactly.
I honestly think you could probably mod it and put an octave switch in there. I reckon you could do that. It wouldn't be too hard to do that because all the circuits are there for the tuning and everything. So it would literally just be a switch with certain resistors at each point.
Fixed.
Yeah.
Fixed voltages or whatever. Or
yeah.
Voltage. Would it be a limit? I don't know. I don't know electronics, but I can understand what you mean. So you just allow certain voltages to pass at each step, don't you? So.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll end up buying a soldering iron at this rate. Cool, blimey.
I can't remember if it's. I need to find out actually. It's how many volts it is total. Let me just get that for you.
Well, if it's 1 volt per octave and 8 octaves, it's got to be 8 volts, wouldn't it?
Well, that's what I want. That's what I want to check. But I think it might be more than that because it does the LFO. I think it might be 10 volts, and that makes sense because it.
Well,
yeah, it's 10 volts. So it's 10 volt
plus 12 and minus 12, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's got the 2 modes. It's got the LFO mode, and the LFO mode goes from. Let me see if I can find it written here. So 6 millihertz to 16 hertz, and then the audio band goes from 31 hertz to 8 kilohertz. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I actually had trouble hearing the 8 kilohertz stuff. My hearing is on its way, so I'm, old fart problems. But yeah, there you go. That's a decent oscillator. Like, there's a lot of oscillators out there that don't do that, and you just think that was friggin' 51 years ago. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they were doing this 51 years ago. Hello, world. Like, if they're doing this 51 years ago, why are you not doing it now with stuff? That was the kind of the first point. I started walking around my studio and comparing oscillators when I got this thing. I'm like, hang on a minute, what have I got that can do this? And I'm thinking, I've got like a Moog sub 37 where the oscillators can blend between waveforms. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's cool. It's kind of similar. I was just kind of looking around. A lot of them, like even the Pro 1, the oscillators on this, there's less oscillators on this. Less waveforms, I should say. And there's also less octave range on this as well. So you've only got triangle, sawtooth, and square and pulse. So to do a sine wave on this, you would need to use the filter or, keyboard track the filter, or you would have to like slew the triangle or something.
But the triangle wave on the Pro 1 is the one that you'd mix in. If you try to have, like if on a single oscillator, if you've got both the sawtooth and the square, it sort of just goes, and it's not very nice. I've never ever used them together, except when you're using it as modulation. The exception is on oscillator 2 or oscillator B, when you put the triangle in with either a saw or the pulse, and then it adds a real nice beef to it. Which, if you have everything switched in, I think you're getting sort of cancellations, and it doesn't work quite as well.
Yeah, because they're beating against each other.
That's the Pro 1 trick.
Yeah.
If you're using them as like, you can put multiple waveforms on the low frequency oscillator as well. But that's when you get the different shapes of modulation, and that's when it can be quite nice. But not so much with the audio. At least that's what I found with both of the OG Pro 1 and the Behringer one. So.
Yeah. One of the things I was looking at with this particular stuff, I mean, I'm just, you guys know I'm an ARP fanatic. I love ARP stuff. The next thing after this will be trying to sort of get my hands on a Quadra. Anyway, we shouldn't go too far. But I've got this little gap here, right? It's a little. It's definitely 3 HP, but I think you can, as a squeeze, I might even be able to get 4 HP in it because the Nifty case has got a little. There's just a very slight, like a little hole at the end. So what you could probably do.
Take a file to one of your modules.
Yeah, just take a file to the edge of it. What you could probably do is make a little companion, a little companion add-on to that oscillator and do those things that we talked about, like have a voltage octave switch, and then put the 5 oscillator outputs as 3.5 millimeter sockets down the side. So you'd be able to put them through something else to mix them. That'd be another way of doing it. Oh, the other thing that's interesting about this too is it's got parallel output. So I don't know if a lot of people understand what that means. So parallel output means that both outputs have the same line level. So it's like if you plug one, some things, if you plugged something into an amp and then you plug the second one in and plug it into a different amp, it would like halve because it's a shared, whereas this one is actually the 2 separate line level outputs. And that's actually a cool thing, because one of the things I noticed when I was kind of doing my studies with the 2500 is a lot of the people that built the 2500s, they usually had 2 filter amps, these things down the end here. The reason why they had 2 of these is because this is a really cool module. This is basically a low pass filter and a VCA built into one, right? And it's got CV control of both. Now, the reason why they had 2 of these is so that they could send one to the left channel on the mixer and one to the right. And that was the reason why they had 2 outputs on the oscillator. It all makes sense. There you go. Hey, we are just about ready to start the show. Who's ready?
Always ready.
Such enthusiasm from the peanut gallery.
Me, sir. Sir, me, sir.
All right, why don't we do this?
Yay!
Yes, new stinger, same show. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Saturday, and you've reached Synth Geekery. Yes, we're going to start calling it by that because that's really what this show's been. It's been about 50-something episodes since we've started calling it that anyway. So it's now official. We're going to be calling the show Synth Geekery, and I think that's really, really good for us because that's really what we're about. You know, it's not just about me. It's about you guys, and it's about our love for all things synthy and, you know, related stuff like drum machine sequences, all that sort of cool stuff. So anyway, it's really nice to have you. It's a beautiful Saturday. It's about 42 degrees here. That's Celsius, not Fahrenheit, by the way. If it was Fahrenheit, I'd probably be feeling a bit, yeah. So I don't know if it's 42, it's 25 now outside. So it was 42 degrees. It's dropped a bit.
Even 42 Fahrenheit would be nice and mild here.
Yeah. And you guys are probably having, we'll get to you guys in a minute, but you guys are probably having very, very opposite weather over there. What I was going to say. So this week we've got a lot to get through, and I'll come back to me in a minute. There's a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about as part of the channel development. And it's not rebranding, we're just kind of embellishing the brand a bit more. So before I do that, I do want to say hello to our wonderful, regular and very reliable guests, starting with Darren. How's your week been, Darren?
Well, weather-wise, it's been grim, cold. Now it's wet, very wet. Yeah, I've been pretty grim up here. Week-wise, yeah, just okay, I suppose. Nothing fantastic. I was in the studio with Rave working on his track. It all started with a Parma Violet. And it's
what, in an early stage.
Yeah, no, it's not Nerdist tin. That
Looks like a
he's
nerdy
at them
tin.
all. That's why he went bananas. So the track, we decided to pull it in the end and rewrite it because the track. I don't know if anyone's been following the tracks I've been putting out in the past couple of weeks, but they've been quite. I wouldn't say melancholy, but quite thoughtful. I think Andy had his box of tissues, so I don't know if they use them all. So the tracks come off the album, and I'm going to put it in for the next part of the tracks that I've been doing that have been quite sort of thoughtful, melancholy maybe. Just I don't know. It depends if you feel down or a bit down. Yeah, those tracks. So nothing really, nothing major, nothing to report other than that.
Yeah, the ambient thing was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a lovely track this week, actually. Really lovely.
Yeah, I hope you didn't use all your tissues, Andy.
I have a plentiful supply, Aaron, a plentiful supply.
Well, while we got Andy chatting, why don't we say a big hello to Andy? Thanks for joining us, mate. Yes, I do drive people to tears.
That box has been there since I was dying 1,000 deaths from the big C before Christmas. So but it's nice and handy. So hello everyone. You all right? I've got nothing exciting to, but I've been messing about. You can see that's got wires in it for once. And one thing I've realised is how quickly you forget where things go. So I've actually done some messing about over here with Presonus and other things. It's been quite fun. I've been having a right good time.
Yeah, Presonus is awesome fun, isn't it? It's really good fun.
Let me just. Where's my slider? Is it that one? I better just. What's going to happen? I have no idea what to sound when I do that.
That's
there we are.
Very, very crunchy and lovely.
Yeah. It's not nasty as anything, but it doesn't have to be nasty. You can just flick a switch and it goes into like nice little tinkly dinkly dink.
A little FME sort of stuff, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Did you just say FM? Is it FM?
It is.
No,
it does have FME
yes, I know
stuff
it is.
in it.
Yes,
yeah.
it's FM. Yes, yes, it's 6 operator FM and all that sort of thing. But yeah, it's just it's been a lot of fun and just messing about basically. Yeah.
And the other modules that you've just recently got, you've been messing around with those as well. What about the that lovely glowing one there that you've got?
The lovely glowing one is
with 3 knobs.
Like as straightforward as that.
Yes.
As I thought, 3 knobs, 6 rows, 6 switches.
3 knobs, Andy.
Yes. I use a little bit. At the minute, my triggers are coming out the BeatStep Pro, just because I thought, well, I'll just do that. But I will actually start getting into that because you have to chuck it a clock, which means just stick an LFO into it and speed it up and slow down. But the minute, in order for just the sake of speed, I just took a trigger out of the BeatStep Pro and just chucked it in, and then there's a square wave modulation going into one of the modulation inputs on the Presonus to give it changes on the System 100. You can do a triggered LFO. You can put a trigger into the LFO as well, which will then so you get every now and again it will, if it's a square wave, it'll give a movement. So you get, I suppose that's how you get from like a deep a bass drum to a snare or a clap sort of sound, but it's slightly unpredictable. You're never quite sure where it's going to land, which is great. Anyway, that's me being getting proper modular for once.
Yeah, getting nerdy. We love it. We love the nerdiness. Fantastic. Well, keep going with that. Next thing you got to do with that is start bathing it in some effects. Once that Presonus gets put through,
so they're already wired in. They're already wired in. I just have turned the delay and things down. But it's going through the Dreadbox nostalgia and the Z5000 with a little bit of reverb in the background. But I actually just turned those down earlier. I know I did so.
So one of the things that I've literally just fallen in love with is the marriage between my Presonus and my MXR flanger pedal. Like those two, they have a permanent connection now. Those things just sound amazing together.
It's also going through the phaser, the System 100 phaser module thing, what you did kindly send. Yeah, that's quite nice. But again, just switch it in and switch it out, switch it in. So I can't remember whether that was actually on or off at that particular point. Because you just flick the switch and suddenly then it brings another sort of bit of movement and change, and it overdrives really nicely.
It does, yeah. Try that. Try the next one down. Try the audio delay. The next one down.
Yeah, have done as well.
And then whack all the pots as far right as you can.
I could stick them in. I could stick them in both, of course.
You could. You could. Yes.
Yeah. Stick all the pots break. That's just creating nasty. Yeah, it is.
It's nasty.
I've actually probably done all of that anyway. But
yeah, it's nasty.
Quite intoxicating when you get with it. So
fantastic. Let's say a lot of the chatties.
One thing
yeah.
Yes, let's.
That's
I was going to say actually, have you got that?
You can talk. I'll put you up in the corner. Talk.
I was going to say, have you got your FX8 yet? Has it arrived?
Yes, I'll show that in a sec. It's beautiful. Right. I was showing the guys earlier. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
definitely
very cool.
That's next month's. That's next month's because whilst I do like the nostalgia, I have to be honest, and this is going to upset a load of people. I actually like digital delays rather than the analog delay. The analog delay has its place, but there's something nice about the cleanliness of that, and also being able to clock the delays, which you can't really do on the Dreadbox. You just got to tune it in by ear, which is doable, of course. But
yeah. Well, just while we're talking about FX8, I'll just move some cables out the way and go like that for you. There she is.
Very nice.
Right, we shall say hello to le chatties. They're not French, but sometimes they do like to bring their croissants. Big hello to everyone. We'll probably just randomly grab a few names. Firstly, you probably noticed that there's some people in the chat room who have got these cool little icons next to their names, like Future World Machines. He's got this Superman sort of thing right next to him. And you'll notice that Inverted Popes does. And I think there was one more, I can't remember, I think it might have JX3D might have been the other. Now, if you're wondering what they are membership badges. So I have launched the membership system in my channel. And I think we'll give it a go. I think there's going to be some interesting things that will come out of it. For one, we're going to sort of introduce kind of some levels, and I need to open something up and talk about it. Oh, bugger, I've just closed that window and I shouldn't have. That was stupid. You can't see what I'm doing, but it's okay. Trust me, I shouldn't have closed a window, which was literally me monitoring the stream. That's not a very good idea to close that one. It's okay, it's back. Right, okay, so membership levels. We have got LFO, which you start off with if you want to. It's very cheap and basic. You can have the loyalty badges and access to the emojis. Now, I'll show you the emojis in a sec. They're custom emojis that I've made. And you also get priority reply to comments. VCF is the next one up. Early access to new videos, members, shout-outs, photos and status updates, exclusive member-only videos. And VCO is the top one, which is you guys can oscillate up the top and connecting on social media, moderate on live streams, which is the big one, and member-only live streams, which is also a big one. Now, the moderator on live streams is also to be read and understood as you're able to paste links when you're in the chat, and that might be something important for you people. So let us know if you guys are happy with the price levels that I've set. I'm kind of not sure what to set them at. I've kept them reasonably inexpensive, so let us know if you're happy with that. Now, just quickly while we're talking about emojis, I did the custom emojis before. I'll do them again. So the first one we've got is, and these are going to come out on the chat window now. So this one's throw your synth at the screen. The next one is, this is the best meme. You get access to these if you become a channel member. This is exciting stuff. This one's Synth Lord. It's like a little top hat. And the last one is gas. This is the gas. So I'll probably end up doing a few more. I think we'll do like name that synth brag. we'll do one for that definitely. And I'm thinking about a few others anyway. So let us know if you like those. I can actually probably show you bigger versions of those because they really don't look very big, do they? What do you think, guys? They're a bit small. A little wee bit small.
Is that a coffee machine one? Is it? There's a rosette and there's a coffee machine, and then underneath the coffee machine you've got like a palm tree. Yeah, maybe they are a bit small.
I can't find them. I can't bloody find them.
Oh no, is it a top hat? Oh, no,
it's a top hat.
Or is it,
here we go. Here we go.
Or is it Darren's knob? Sorry.
All right, so we're going to do a bigger version of them. Ready? That's what the best meme one looks like.
Okay.
The gas one, which you thought was, I don't know what you thought it was, but it's actually a fist holding some cash.
Oh, I thought it was a palm tree.
Yep. All right, so there's your gas one. Now this one everyone wants to be. There's your Synth Lord one.
Synth Lord. Dark Synth Lord.
And everyone wants to do this ever since they met me. Throw your synth at the screen. So there's your emojis. They're the ones I've done so far. And also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's the new show logo too, just in case. So show those off. Membership badges look something like this. Right. S for synth. Cool, hey? All right, that's done. So hello to everyone. Let us know if that's kind of something you're after. What I actually will be doing with the channel. Oh, by the way, you guys were talking about Nurlies before. Come on, focus, you bastard.
Ranzee, why have you put your Nurlies in a Parma Violets tin?
That's what they come in. That's how they come, like that. Well, let's not get too technical. But this is my favourite tin. This is the stash tin. This is the stash tin. What's in here is literally all the screws from all the Eurorack modules that I get that I don't use because I use Nurlies. So they just hide in there. All right, done. Okay, what else are we going to do? So you guys noticed that there's a new stinger for the show. The stinger I just came up with really, really quickly. So we may, I don't know, I might think about doing a competition where we might actually get someone to, you know, do the music for the stinger or something. I don't know. We could do that.
You could win an ESQ1.
I'm not going to sell that, but you could win something. I'll see if I can.
Well, I didn't say sell it. You give it away as a prize.
Stop.
Yeah, you can pick some out of Ranzee's studio.
No, stop. Stop it, boys. Right. Okay. So anyway, we're going to get on with the show. What else do we need to do? If you're new here, which you sometimes are, I know there's some wonderful people that are first-time visitors on the show. And it's really nice, obviously, to have you here. One of the things you can do, if you're not really into the YouTube supporting channel stuff, is you can head over to Bandcamp and you can support some of the fantastic people that help make this show. Starting with me, I do actually have a new album and it's called Significant Bit, and the camera's going to focus eventually. You'll see it. There it is there. You can buy that on CD. Yes, we do still sell CDs, people. Look at that. On the back, I actually wrote all of the synths that I used to make the album on the back. Isn't that cool? And if you're really old school, you can even get the cassette. Yes, it's actually a real cassette in there. They're over on Bandcamp. Darren is also on Bandcamp and Andy is also on Bandcamp. The links for all of those gentlemen will be in the description once the video live stream has finished. You'll be able to go and access that. What else can we show? We can show this, because people like to go in and talk about synths during the week, don't they, guys? I think they do. And if you do and you want to do it and you want to do it in a free way, that's one way to do it. You can go on to Discord, which is bit.ly/Ranzee Discord. That'll take you straight to the Discord server. If you've never been on Discord before, it won't bite. It's free. It's actually a really good platform. There's no None of this crazy social media advertising junk stuff. It's quite good. It's like just people, like a chat room. There's an audio and video part to it as well, but you don't have to use that. You can just chat. So there's Discord. So I should be getting the Discord feedback up soon again. That's something that I want to do. So there's that. Now we're through all of that. And also on top of that, you'll notice in the chat room, you'll see that there's some fantastic people who are moderators. The reason why they're moderators, if you're wondering, is because they've been with me from the start, like Lisa, she's Inky the cat, and Brooksy, not quite from the start from Brooksy, but you know, he's been very, very supportive, so he gets the rights. But also, if you do venture over to my Patreon, there is the ability to be a moderator through that as well, if you want to do it. Okay, that is that. We can now get on to the regular segments, and we'll start off with this one, and it's the same stinger, so don't worry. That's not the right one. That's one. Yes, end of the internet it is, where we find you have to bring a shovel with you and you have to dig a little bit, and you find these stupid things called memes, which for some reason make us laugh. First one is we're all kind of getting interested in this Wordle game now. So they've brought out the OP Wordle. So Teenage Engineering and Arturia got together, and yeah, I don't know what type of music it's going to produce. Maybe it's like a formant type synthesizer with lots of vowels. I'm not sure. Anyway, we won't do jokes. Next one is I was looking at these waveforms and it kind of reminded me of Leonardo da Vinci. It was quite clever.
You can see it.
Quite clever, that, wasn't it?
No, you really can see it.
Thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's really freaky. I was expecting something totally different, and I thought I was going to call it a Bridget Riley painting, but
yeah,
no, you really can.
You can see the Mona Lisa.
There's no river in the background, though.
No.
La Gioconda.
Yes. But speaking of chocolate...
One of the world's biggest disappointments.
Speaking of chocolate, which we weren't, but if I was to have a birthday, I would like this birthday cake, please. Thank you very much.
That's brilliant.
That is great, isn't it? And they've used the white and dark versions of the Kit Kats there. Nice. You guys get Kit Kats in the UK?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I think it is from the UK.
Oh, it's Nestle. It's technically it's Swiss, isn't it?
It wasn't though, was it? They weren't. They were.
Wonder what sort of cake.
God, who made the original ones?
Wonder what sort of cake is inside that. Do you reckon it's a chocolate cake?
Oh, well, maybe they aren't.
Or is it like a Bavarian? Or wonder what sort of cake is. I'm not allowed to eat that sort of stuff anymore. You know, I was telling you, like you can see that cake is already melting because it's so hot here. But I just, I went down to the shop today and I was going to get some chocolate, but I thought maybe I won't.
Oh dear.
Yes, melted chocolate. Look, you don't have to heat your saucepan up. You could just pour it out of the pack. That's got nothing to do with synths, by the way, but I thought, yeah. I don't know why I thought. I just thought it was funny.
Your show, you can stick on what you like.
Yeah. Favourite meme of the week, gentlemen?
The melted chocolate.
The chocolate
isn't
cake,
a meme, 'cause it's just
it's all right.
Australia, hashtag. Yeah. All we need now is, what's his name? Aussie Man Reviews. The guy that's on all over the social media. He can review those chocolate bars. Okay, and the chatties, what was their favourite meme? Let's see what they're saying. Mona Lisa got a few. Waveforms, yeah. It was pretty good, wasn't it?
That was actually very clever, that.
Yeah.
Was it deliberate, or do you think it was just somebody was looking at their Ableton or Cubase waveform viewer, and it was like, hey, look at that. No, that's deliberate. That's got to be deliberate.
When you look at it smaller, it's deliberate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Still very clever.
It is. It's a wee bit clever. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the memes for the week. What we should probably do is get ourselves ready for news from the Geekery, because every week we try to bring you something that you may or may not have heard about, or if you have, or if you haven't, it doesn't really matter. But the first one I wanted to talk about is, we'll roll the stinger and we'll get to this on the other side. Boom. Oh! Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I've forgotten to do something, people. And that is, there's a new stinger for the news, and we should probably play it because I've gone to the trouble of making it. I don't know if I saved it though. Did I save it? God help me if I didn't save it, because then we're going to be up shit creek, aren't we? Maybe I didn't save it in there. Did I save it in here? You guys can't see what I'm looking at, don't worry. Oh, I did save it. I did. People, are you in for a treat? Actually, it's really cheesy. Here's the new stinger for news. Let's go. That's it. I didn't change.
You need a new background tune.
I didn't change the music at all. I do need to get onto that. Anyway, so there's the new stinger. What is the news starting off with this week? Well, I love this module, and the reason why I'm showing it is because I'm really jealous to everyone who owns one of these. I actually really, really want one. But this module's been out for a while, and it's called the Squid Sample. If you're wondering, it's by ALM Busy Circuits. It's a Eurorack module you're looking at. Sorry about those people who don't like Eurorack. Bad luck. But it's a sample player, and it has 8 individual outputs, which is actually really, really cool. And you can also, the 8 outputs, by the way, are down the bottom, and they are stereo paired, so you get a breakout cable. You can CV control all the 8 individual outputs, and you can also get an extra 3 CV controls for other stuff. There's also a whole bunch of cool things that this does, but the reason why I'm showing it is because it's not a new module at all. It's because they've done a firmware update, and we're going to find out what that's all about. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Anyway, that'll do for now. There is quite a lot of stuff that's happening in that video, and I don't want to put you guys through it because it goes for about 6 minutes. I can tell you a little bit about the new firmware.
Can you post a link to that video, Ranz?
I can.
Or is it just a case of going to, is it ALM YouTube channel?
Yeah, I can do the link though. Why don't I be a good boy and do that? Hopefully this is the link.
Yep. Cool.
Link is in the chat. The new firmware, obviously the first part you saw the steps part, which is polyphonic round robin triggering. So because that sequencer has the 8 different outputs, you can now send it like a sequence step thing, and it can step through each of the outputs. You can play all outputs individually. It's always been able to do that, but this is kind of just another thing they've added. They've got a Chan input reassign, a choking all channels, punching in and queuing sets during record, resetting all cue steps, resetting all steps and sequences. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. The step option is obviously the big one. The thing is, this module is just something that's on my radar, and I really want to get one. And I just thought I'd share it with you guys if you've never heard of it. Yeah, quick comments before we move on to the next. Gents?
Yes, I'd also been looking at that as a possible thing, but it's a bit pricey, but it's very flexible. Well, ALM things tend to be a bit pricier than some others, but they are obviously really cool. Again, I look at this stuff because I've been looking at things like the 1010, the Bitbox, and this, and there's an Erica Synth thing that's also and I keep saying, Andy, why you keep looking at sample players? Andy, stop it! You're being silly. You've got bloody sample players. You've got a sample player there. Look, play samples. Come on, man. Don't go spending £500 on something when you've already got a box that you spent money on that will do it. So I'm trying to be sensible about these things.
That's true. Yeah, we have got sample players. That's a good point. Darren, are you into that, the sample side in your rank?
Originally, I was. Yeah, when I was into modular, I was looking at that a while back. It was really good. I like the way it is. So I was looking at it a long time ago. Yes, but it's not anymore.
Okay, we shall not bother you with it.
Turned your back on the modular thing, then, have you, Darren? Are you? Is it been retired for?
No, it's been retired. It's been retired for now. And money states that I won't be buying modules. So for now, it's just sitting there. We'll see whether it whittles down to nothing or whether it stays as it is. So yeah, but I did used to look at it when I was building it originally. It was quite interesting because I'd got the Kimmy's Castle at the time, and that was a bit later on. I was looking at that. So yes. Very good module.
Make sure you let me know.
They are expensive,
Darren. Make sure you let me know before you part with any of those modules, because I might take them off you. Falling in
be a queue then.
You don't want them falling in bad hands. All right. The second bit of news this week is this. What is this? Well, the news is that Ableton 11.1 is now updated, and it now is no longer in beta. And it brings the Apple M1 support, which we talked about, I know, before, but that was in beta. This is now the full live version going out to everyone, and now everyone can download it. If you're not in the beta testing, you can go in and get this. Apple Live 11.1, adding native support for Apple computers running on M1 Silicon and more. The release also comes with a variety of smaller improvements, including they updated the shifter device, which adds a new mode for real-time monophonic pitch shifting, as well as delay and envelope sections and an LFO glide functionality. The update also adds 2 new Max for Live utilities. There's a line delay and shaper MIDI. Shaper MIDI is actually really cool. You should check that out. We may actually see if we can show that on a show coming up. I love that shaper MIDI thing. A line delay allows artists to compensate for lag when sending signals from their systems. Shaper MIDI generates modulation data that can bring more expression to MIDI performances. Don't forget the Live 11 implements, this is when it first came out, implements the MPE side of it, and there's a whole bunch of new effects and things like that in there as well. So they're all still there. But Ableton-wise, I don't know, both of you, you both aren't Ableton, are you? Who is Ableton here? I am.
I'm Ableton.
Oh, you're Ableton. Okay.
Darren uses Ableton.
I'm very much Ableton, yeah.
Ableton's one of those things
Yeah, very
that
much Ableton.
you kind of scratch your head and you think to yourself, do I need to update? Because I know I've got friends who are still on Ableton Live 8 and they haven't updated it and it still works fine for them. So
I'm on 9.7. I've not updated. I was because I was my Mac's getting old, and if I need to save up to switch over to an M1 Mac, there was no point in me updating Ableton until I switch over to the M1 Mac. So that's what I'm trying to save up for. So
you can actually still run Ableton.
Yeah, I'll update it then.
You can still run Ableton 9 on an M1 Mac, by the way. It just runs in Rosetta mode, which is the virtualization mode. So yeah, so you don't need to even rush out if that's kind of your thinking there. One of the things I don't know if you guys know, if you remember, but I was actually on the beta testing crew, and we went through all the pains and frustrations of testing out the iterations that they kept bringing out of 11.1, alpha, beta, all the different versions that they brought out, and things like Roland Cloud weren't working for a while, and then all audio units dropped out. It was really kind of a roller coaster ride going through the beta testing with them, and it would probably kept them all busy. But the good news is that it's been very, very stable, and there's been literally no bugs since the last iteration that came out, and the fact that they've now launched it as an official 11.1 version is good. Let's just have a quick look to see what the chatties say about that. Who's going to be jumping on to 11.1? You may find that they might do a deal. I don't know. I got 11 for free because I upgraded from 9 to 10. That's how I got into 11. So I upgraded from 9 to 10. It cost me money, and then they promised me that I would be able to upgrade to 11 for free. That's how I got into it. I don't know if that deal is still going though. But also, if you have the patience of a saint, you could probably wait till November and wait for the Cyber Monday sale and get it then. That could be not a good thing for Ableton, but that's bad luck. Right, what else have we got? This is cool. I love these guys. Have you guys heard of Isotonik Studios? Isotonik Studios are awesome. They do some really, really cool stuff. I don't know if you guys remember when they first brought out things like the Circuit and the Peak and the Base Station. They brought out this web MIDI management thing, and it was all done through a browser. Isotonik Studios were the guys that created that initially, so they're pretty smart people. But check this out. This is for the Novation Circuit Rhythm. It goes on for a little bit longer. I do want to show you guys how much it costs and everything, because it's part of kind of the nice things that we do before we talk about it. This is the website. I'll give you guys a link to this in a sec. It's £16.67. I don't know really how that price has come about, but it might be something to do with where I live. Anyway, it's the Techno Rhythm. If you're into techno, this is going to be right up your alley. And if you have a Novation Circuit Rhythm, this will also be right up your alley as well. If you're not, then we'll go to the next news segment in a second, so just hang in there. But basically, it's got a whole bunch of samples. I think they said there was 128 of them, and it includes things like house, trance, happy hardcore, and there's drums, there's basses, there's techno stabs and all sorts of sound effects and things like that. And then if you couple that with the benefits of using the new circuit rhythm and the algorithms that are built into the sequencer and then that, it's actually quite a cool little marriage. And I actually like what they've done. So before we move on to the next news topic, Darren, you've got a circuit. You don't have a circuit rhythm, but you've got a circuit. I know you like techno.
I have a circuit, yes.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
I like many genres. Well, yeah, if you if you're into techno and you've got a circuit rhythm, it's great. Like you say, 60. It must be the way your money's worked out. £16.67.
I don't know if that's right. Yeah.
But I never managed to get packs on my flipping circuit, and I ended up giving up, and it was just annoying me. But yeah, if you're into techno, well, not just techno, any sort of that 125 beats plus music these days, because I mean, let's face it, techno and other styles are so broad these days. Just saying it's techno is probably a little bit of a mistake, but yeah, it sounds good. If that's what you're into, it'd be sorted.
Yeah,
it sounds like everyone's gone quiet.
No, I muted my mic because I was just getting myself a drink. Andy, you want to make some comments about this?
Now, I froze and everything locked up, so it locked up partway through the Novation circuit samples thing. So I don't know quite what's already been said. So I've missed bits. Sounded like.
What I'll do is I'll just copy the link and paste it in so you can check it out later. But yeah, go ahead.
They sound, if you want, I don't know. I just thought, I didn't know. It just sounded like the late 1990s and why I stopped being interested in it.
Yeah, like I said, it's not for everyone. Yeah.
You know, there came a point where everything was just going.
Yeah, but Rand's brought me into this.
With the side chaining,
thing that just, I was thinking, oh God, just give it a break. Oh, I remember this music festival in Portugal, and it was all like that. And it was the chill out temp was amazing, and then the main stuff was all this. There was no variation, no dynamics. It just went for the 3 whole bloody days. I just thought, nah. Had enough of this. Anyway, sorry, I've had a rant.
But Andy,
it's like me talking about hip hop.
Andy, that's still the case in a lot of in that genre, isn't it? It's like you said, techno is that. Well, not just techno actually. Any style of I keep going back to house from the 80s, but any sort of dance music now has so many genres. You can literally find a club that will just play that.
Yeah, your
style and nothing else. Then you go next door in the club and it's another techno club, completely different. Yeah, well, I suppose house music is in a way.
Yeah.
Well, it's like it's all types of EDM, isn't it? That's what it is.
It's all become a bit predictable. Is that the problem? I don't know. So I've got nothing wrong with repetition. I like repetition, repetitive beats and things, but that just seems rather than repetitive. It just seems monotonous, and that's. I struggle with that.
Well, some of minimal techno, and I'm sure that can't it? I mean, literally.
I'm sure that the samples and the sounds in there are great. I mean, they sounded really good quality. I wasn't knocking that. Just that. It was just the style of that demo. Just sort of makes my teeth hurt.
He's back to the mid-90s.
Yeah, but come on, 808 State, Orbital. Apollo 440, all these bands, they I know they had funk. They had a groove, and there was. I mean, I know when you say funk and soul, it means certain things, but there was something about it. It was, I don't know. It just seems to be missing in that sort of thing. Anyway, sorry, I'm not slagging it off. I'm not honest. Philly boots is what you want.
I've just banged my heel on the chair. Oh, that bloody hurt.
He's trying to bang to the rhythm.
Right, we shall keep moving on.
That's what it does to you, see? That's that constant thud.
Oh, this is good news. One of my favourite module makers. These guys are frequency. Feedback modules. God, I always say frequency. Feedback modules. They have brought out through a collaboration with CMS Lab. And if you're wondering who CMS Lab is, it's Christian Mike Sugar. These are really clever little modules, and I'll tell you why they're clever. So the first one is T-Comb. It's a 4 HP. It's a trigger combiner. So if you look at this module, right, you've got, you see how it's got kind of 4 sets combining into one? So let me explain it. So what you can do is you can combine up to 4 trigger or gate signals, and the result is a wild, mangled signal that can be used in different ways. So for example, you can drive the signal with a 1-lane step sequencer and to more destinations by combining it with the T-Comb, some of the individual trig gate outs, and then you can achieve interesting and complex rhythm patterns with it, or rectify or combine CV signals. So that's going to be a good little useful utility, I think. I really like the look of that, and I think I'll probably get myself one of those.
Can I step in it then?
Yeah.
Because Andy asked me a question which I've not replied to him on one of my videos. What the I think it was Batum Bantam for me. Oh yeah, I think what was it? Bantam module. And it's very similar to what that's doing.
Yeah.
All right. It's very similar to what Ranzee just said with this module.
What's it called? Let me look it up. Batum module?
Let me hang up. Batum Bantam, I can't remember what it is. Let's have a look.
It was just this module with a lot of holes in it that Darren was unboxing in a video. And there was, I thought, well, what is it? It's just a thing full of holes and with arrows on it. But I sort of tried to work out, is it a mixer, a merger, a CV?
How do you spell it, Darren?
Basic.
Malt.
It's BYTOM. Bantam.
Batum. It's
Batum.
Chaos Devices. Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah.
Yes.
This is cool. Yeah. I like this. I think this is actually probably similar. But that one has 3, whereas this one has 2. So let's get that graphic back up again.
Yeah.
So that one has only got the 2. The Batum's got 4.
And you can link all those 4 into one. So, for instance, the center is the out, and then the 4 around it is where you send your CV, your gate, your triggers, or whatever. So you can have 4, and then it spits out 1, or you can drop that 4 into the next one. So you've got 8 dropping out of 2, or into the next one. So you've got all a lot working, dropping out into 1. So it's quite very similar, but with more, I think, on it. I don't know whether the prices are.
That's what Darren's talking about. So it's an impulse integrator.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. By the way, this is actually quite a lot more expensive, by the way. So whilst we are comparing, I think this is kind of around the 150, 200 pound mark, if I remember rightly. But
I think I got it on a sale actually at about a lot cheaper.
The T-Comb, you're going to love the price of this. The T-Comb is only €44 for a module.
They're not that. I had a look at these as well. I was having a look at their site and I saw these. And I was thinking, ooh.
This is really cool. Anyway,
again, Andy.
Let's talk about the other 2. The J-Conv, which is a 6 HP. It's a simple, handy converter that allows you to inject external 1/4 inch devices like synths, drum machines into your rack, and it just outputs.
That's cool.
So that's just a very handy little module to have there.
That's actually really funky.
Is there anything special about it? I think it's just purely routing. All right, cool. And the last one is Quadatt. Quadatt is a 6 HP 4-channel passive attenuator that is compatible with CV and audio signals, and each channel has a handy knob that you can use to precisely adjust the value. Now, so the J-Conv is €48 and the Quadatt is €48, and the T-Comb, which is on the left, is €44. So for me, it's the T-Comb. I think that's the handy one. I mean, I would love to get the Chaos Device Batum, but because I am the cheap ass that I am, yeah. I mean, for me, like
it must have gone up in
buying
price,
Euro
because
rate
when I got
modules,
it
it's
was
got to be
it was-
second hand. For me, it's
135.
the only way I can own them. It's second hand or nothing. So it sucks. But that's life, isn't it? I think there might be one more thing on the news. I think.
Oh, we're spooling.
Oh, no, that's it. We are? What are we doing?
It's all right. It was just spooling on the feed that we're watching.
No,
I think
it's okay.
No one else.
Yeah, it's okay.
Might have just been me.
That is it for the news. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all we'll do. There is a couple of other things we could talk about, but I don't think we'll bother. They were covered with the other two shows during the week or more, if you want to get onto that. A lot of the software stuff, I think, is covered quite well by Sonic State, and even ProSynth Network does a fairly good job of that. So unless it's something that I want to add to that discussion, I won't show it unless I've got something, worthy of discussing. Unless you guys want, like Andy or Darren, if you want to add something to the news, you can always tell me to put something up. It's lonely here doing all this. No, I'm just joking. Right, let's roll the stinger for the next segment. We have Price Watch. Now, this week, we got some good ones. Now, I don't know if I saw Kent. Did I see Kent this week in the chat? I'm not sure if I saw him. I don't think he's here, which is a bit of a shame because the first one is just for him. And if you're wondering what that is, it's the Yamaha CS80 Original Service Handbuch. So Handbuch from, where are we?
They just don't like
It's in
shipping.
German.
They don't like shipping.
Oh,
to
it's
Australia.
from Belgium. It's from Belgium, this one. Hello to all my Belgian people. This is actually a live listing. Should we have a look at the live listing? Why not? Why not, they say. There it is. You can actually buy this. Should we buy it? We can actually put a bid. Look at that. Let's have a look what's in here. Lots of circuit diagrams, and there you go. If you want to build yourself a CS80, look at all that loveliness. Hey? So 750 euros, $858 US for a friggin' manual.
He might not ship it to Australia.
Yeah. Look, if
No one likes shipping it to you, do they?
you know what they could do? They could fax it to me. Has anyone had a fax?
An expensive fax.
No one had a fax recently. Dear me. Okay, what else we got? We have this wonderful thing here, which I thought was very interesting, actually. This is the final DX-7 Big F little d. If you are wishing, one word, to purchase nice, please refrain from doing so. What? What the? This is why this made it to the segment, because it's like what Andy's doing right now. This is a head-scratching moment.
Yeah, scratching my head.
I have no idea what the hell these people are on about. But it's another live listing. Hooray! We can check it out.
It costs less than that new.
Look, let's have a look at his room. Let's see if we can. Is it going to zoom? Come on, be a zoomer. Zoom for me. You're not a zooming listing. Anyway, it is a DX7 2FD. It's the same one that I've got. And is there any more information on it? I don't know what this means. Can someone please explain what this... And this is a translation issue. They're located in Japan, by the way, so it could be a translation problem. I always find these very interesting. Look, $2,921 US for a DX7 is starting to get... I would actually love it if DX7s were worth it. I mean, I'd probably start feeling a bit better.
Though, is it?
It's not. No, that's the truth. Okay, so sorry, but you're not going to sell your... Well, some idiot might buy it. I don't know. It won't be me. This idiot won't. But if you think that was stupid, what about this? And this is not a dig at Behringer. This is just a dig at the idiot that thought that they could sell two Behringer TD3s. One's the MO version and one's the standard version, $4,000 US. Now, I will tell you that
and a desk saver cover.
Sorry, say again. Darren?
And a desk saver cover. You're missing that out.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the live. It's not a live listing because it's actually a closed listing, but we can still look at it. We can still look at the descriptions and all that sort of stuff that you put on there. So he's just photographed the boxes, and there's no more information than that. But there is a desk saver cover, and you can't actually see what that looks like. He's selling one TD3 MO
Australia.
and TD3 plus a desk saver, which only fits on the TD3 AM. I don't know why he doesn't think it fits on the other one, but it will. You get one factory modded and one sealed in the box, which is no longer made to mod yourself. Pfft. Like, are you guys freaking kidding me? Whereabouts is this guy located? Where is it? Los Angeles. I think he's smoking the ganja, this guy. Wow.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was Cresshead selling his off, but it's clearly not. He's just applauded that his is now worth 800.
Yeah.
Don't get too excited, Cressy. Don't think you're going to get that. But
what about this one, guys? The ARP Quartet, and £2,000, which is about 2,700 US, according to that. It's in Japan. I don't know what this SIEL thing on the back is.
Seal, it's the manufacturer.
I thought it was an ARP Quartet.
Yeah, it says ARP Quartet, but they were sold under license through an Italian manufacturers. There were a whole bunch of these things. In fact, if there's a Heinbach video about sort of Italian synths and stuff. Seal was a fairly well-known manufacturer back in the day. There'll be one or two people in the chat where they say I've got Seal things. I think Wagyu might actually. Well, this is sort of a repackaged ARP.
So this, did this happen?
What's it, the ARP
Quartet, yeah. Did this happen?
Quartet, yeah. It's just a string synth.
So did this happen after ARP went down? Is this kind of what happened? They kind of just gave all their designs out to people?
I think it was actually during. Exactly what is in there. Well, that happened quite a lot. I mean, quite a lot of companies licensed technology from ARP. Tysco did. I mean, the 60F that I keep talking about, that had, under license from ARP on the back of it. But apparently that was just the touchpads. But having said that, there were other things about that which were definitely ARP-like in nature. Sentient's saying it was actually the other way around. Oh, now that's interesting, was it? ARP bought this seal. Oh, right.
There you go.
Oh well, you learn all sorts of stuff. I knew there was cross-pollination going on anyway. So.
Look, there's more. I've only got 4 spots on my control panel here to do price watch, but I've got one more because I thought, what the hell not? This one's actually really cool. This is not a scammy thing by any shape or form. This is actually probably good value. This one is in JX3D's homeland in Copenhagen in Denmark. It's a Oberheim Matrix 6, and what's cool about it, so this is not let's get this clear. This is actually a cool listing. You guys should probably check this out. I might actually paste the link in. I got this from Matrix Synth. It's a great website if you haven't been part of that. What this is, it's the Oberheim Matrix 6 with a really, really, really freaking cool controller. You guys can see the controller there, right? And that controller makes the Matrix 6 actually a really, really cool thing. So the programmer is actually the guy who's selling it. He actually made this himself. And it controls nearly all of the features on the Matrix 6 apart from the mod Matrix. So it gives you real-time control over most of the features. And yeah. Runs on 12 volts power, blah, 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 blah. Will be carefully wrapped and shipped in a flight case. So it has a flight case as well. Does it have a picture of the flight case? Obviously, it's seen better days, the synth itself. There you go. It's kind of similar to the ESQ1 era, isn't it? the age of that?
It's earlier.
It's earlier, is it?
It's earlier than that. Yeah, it's probably about 1985.
I thought the
86,
ESQ
something like that.
one
The
was.
ESQ one's a bit late.
I thought the ESQ one was
Bit
86.
later.
Let me give you guys the link to this if you guys want to check this out. It's going to be a nasty big long link, isn't it? I don't know if this is the right link. Sometimes it's got like other crap in it. This is a really big nasty long link. Is it going to work? Oh yeah, it worked. Okay, there's the link to that if you guys want to check that out. I think that's, if you're into if I'm thinking what I'll do now with the price watch segment is if I find a really, really cool thing to show you guys that's worthwhile checking out, like something kind of like quirky and weird like that, I'll show that. Yeah, no, I don't think I'll show this one. Okay, cool. We're good.
He's just said something quite interesting about that. He said it's a yelling house for the Matrix 6. Now, the yelling house made that massive controller for the DX7 that had like hundreds and hundreds of knobs on it. So if it's from that same company at the same time, yeah, it'd be quite an interesting little factoid.
Well, like the guy in the listing said, he made it. So you can find out. Like, click on that link and go check it out, the listing, and it'll take you into more information if you want to ask him questions. Michael Mundai, Mundai is the guy's name. Anyway, hope you sell it, mate. I think $1,700 US is a pretty good price, actually. I actually think that's very reasonable. If it includes a flight case, the shipping is God knows whatever it's going to be, maybe €100 or something to get that anywhere in the world. But I mean, if I had a cool $1,700 US sitting in my pocket, I would, yeah. I actually don't mind the Matrix 6 sound. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. What do we got next? That's it. We are done with the price watch. What was your favourite this week? We had
in terms of the most ridiculous
CS80
or
manual,
like to have most.
the DX7, the Behringer, the ARP Quartet, and the Oberheim, which is not really a price watch thing.
Yeah,
Well,
they were all
Behringer's
silly
probably the
this week,
funniest.
man. Yeah.
I think the Yamaha, for me, the Yamaha DX7 was kind of a bit silly. It'd be kind of a toss of a coin between that and the Behringer, but I think the Yamaha was funny because it just had that weirdness with the listing. Do you know what I mean? Like if you're going to try and sell something, you don't attack people straight away. It's the worst thing you can do if you're trying to sell something. You don't attack people. They're just going to walk away. Please refrain from doing so. It's just really weird. I think it's a translation thing.
Yeah, that's true. But I go with the Behringer because it's the Yamaha DX7, and anything that's now remotely, I don't know, classic. People just assume that they can put a big price on it, so you sort of expect that. Whereas this,
that's just stupid, isn't it?
It's like, hey.
Chatties, what are you guys saying? Future World Machines said the Behringer one is his favourite for the week. Definitely Behringer said Atto Z. So, yeah, cool. Right. See you later. Oleg too. He's just left us. Probably has to go back to do some work. Get to work. Now, we don't have a Name That Synth episode this week because I haven't had a chance to do one and I didn't get sent one in. So I do apologise. It's one of those things if we have time to do it, or if someone wants to send one in, we can show it. But if we don't, then yeah. Last week we had was it Darren? Was it yours last week? Wasn't it? Was it yours last week or was it Eddie's?
Bad memory.
It was yours last week and then Eddie's the week before. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So what? Okay, let's talk about Name That Synth because while we've got a couple of seconds, we won't roll the stinger, but basically what it is, if you want to be part, there might actually be one. There might actually be one because it looks
Eddie's
like
just said, use my link.
Looks like Eddie's given us one. Maybe I've forgotten to do his. Let me just have a quick look.
Well, I think you said you had one when I sent mine in, and you used mine first. So you should have one sitting there, maybe.
Yeah, I can't actually. Okay, so Eddie, I've clicked on your link and it comes up to a Premiere on your website. So I don't know. Can you just resend me the link? This is for Eddie. This is for F Rose in chat. Can you resend me that link in Facebook, in Messenger? Because the one that you're giving me comes up as a friggin' Premiere. So send me the link. Yes, anyway, while we're waiting for Eddie to send us that link, if you want to be a synth lord and have the synth lord hat, you could wear this hat. You can send in a video, it's about a minute long, obscuring visually the synth is, make it as difficult as you can. Don't give anything away visually, but make sure the audio is only the audio that comes out the back of that synth. Don't add any extra effects. Don't compress it. Don't EQ it. Don't do anything outside the back of that synth. Just record what comes out of its bottom. And if the synth itself has compression and FX, and you can use that because that's the synth. That's what it is. So do that definitely. Send that in. You can send that to me various different ways.
Can't even drink my bloody coffee.
What do you drink? You're gonna spill it everywhere.
No, I'm not. I've just had to.
Okay, cool. We've got the link.
What the show's come down to, see, ever after that knob joke.
We had the link. Yeah. Wow, Eddie's amazing. This guy, he's the gift that keeps giving. He's really, really cool. All right, we can actually roll the stinger now. Okay, so what I was saying before, we don't have a we don't have a no-note synth. Now we do, yay! Okay, so I've told you everything that you need to know. Now to play this game, this is the fun part, is what you need to do is you need to put your headphones on, get yourself in a room nice and quiet, tell your kids to shut up, all that sort of stuff, and then have a really good listen because your ears are going to tell you what the answer is to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit play. I'm going to mute all of us, so all you'll hear is just the audio from the video, so it's nice and fair. I do apologise for things like YouTube compression and stuff like that. So let's get us all muted and let's go across to this. I just want to make sure too, while I'm saying let's get us all muted, that I don't have any audio coming through from anywhere else. Good. Okay, here we go, people. Name that synth. All right, that is not the right one. Let me just, I've just worked out that is not the right one.
Name that synth. People are going, oh, I see it. I'm not sure about this.
That is not the right video. Let me,
you've got to name it.
Yeah, let me just fix that. That is not the right one. Sorry, guys. Cancel that. Okay.
You muted, Andy.
I was just asking Eddie if he's trying to resurrect FFS.
Yeah, we'll talk about. We are going to talk about FFS in a minute. So let's not steal that.
All right.
We will go. We will go to that.
No,
let's go. Let's go back. Here we go, people. All right, let's get up the chatties. Let's get up the chatties and see what they've said here. Okay, we have an EMT10, a Macbeth
It's
M5.
It's the FM version of the EMT10.
EMT1?
There were 2 boxes, which Yamaha. I think that
FM1?
was what it was.
And Sonic ESQM says Future World Machines. Yamaha FB01 does sound FM. FB01 says X101. Okay.
No.
All right. Where do I send the name of that synth video to? Okay. You literally just, we'll have a chat about that in a sec, Paul. So we'll get through this first, and we'll have a chat about that in a second, because I'll tell you how to do that. All right, let's go back to here. I think we've given everyone a go. Let's see what the answer is.
Get in. 2 weeks in a row.
EMT1. You got it right, Mr. Brooksy. All right, hang on a sec. Let's get Mr. Brooksy.
Go on this little video up.
Let's get Mr. Brooksy up. And let's put the Synth Lord hat on him. Yeah, the Synth Lord hat. Synth Lord hat. Right, cool.
You need to dance with it, though.
No, yes, thank you, Darren. Next. See, I tried to do one of these, but got in such a pickle and in such a state, because what I was trying to do, interestingly enough, was that. Can you see it? Is that showing?
Yep.
So I've just shot me bullets. I can't do it now. That's the Yamaha EMT10, which is an AWM pianos and choirs and strings module. And yeah, the power supply was buggered on it, so I couldn't actually get it to do it. So gives me a bit of an unfair advantage on that one, because I was aware of that particular box. As soon as I saw it, it was immediately, that's an EMT10. And then as soon as we heard the sounds, nah, that's not it. It's the other one. It's that FM one that they did at the same time.
Yeah. Eddie wants to share what he discovered about the synth. So I don't know how you want to do that, Eddie. You want to just type it in the chat, and we'll reword it for you. Now, to get back to what Paul asked, how do I send the video? Okay, it's really easy. So what Eddie's done is he's actually just uploaded the video as an unlisted video on his YouTube channel, so no one can see it. And then he's given me the link to that video. So I don't need to download a video or anything like that. That's just one way of doing it. One way, for example, Darren does is he just sends me I think it's like a WeTransfer or Dropbox type file transfer link, and then I can just download the actual video file and I can play that locally on my computer here, and I can do that. So there's a couple of ways to do it. Probably the easiest way would probably be to upload it as an unlisted video to your YouTube channel, copy the link and send me the link. Make sure you don't share it with anyone, keep it very, very secret. With a lot of these videos that we get, I don't watch them. So the only thing that I want to make sure, though, is that you're not allowed to play any music on there that will breach copyright. So you can't like put someone else's music on there. It's got to be your own. And so far we've done pretty good. Multi-tracking. I think Sentient's asked is multi-tracking to allow. I think what you could do is, if the synth is a mono synth, right, or maybe it's a polysynth that you want to multi-track, just do what the synth does, with its capabilities on its own first in the first part, and then when you pause it and you have the name that synth pause part towards the end, and then you reveal the synth, you can show some skills with that synth of the multi-track afterwards. Like, there's some good examples.
I did that, didn't I, with the...
the first one you did. Yeah, that was really good. If you go back a couple of months ago, have a look at Darren's version that he did with the MAM. It's like a TB303 clone, isn't it? The MAM thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely can, but the first part where you've got to give people a chance to be able to discover what that synth is, and I don't think multi-tracking, if the synth can multi-track itself, like for example, if I was to do a Korg M3, I could multi-track that synth because it's literally multi-timbral. It's got its inbuilt sequencer. I could literally play, you know, a massive thing. If the synth itself can multi-track, like those general MIDI machines can multi-track, you can do that because that's what it can do inside the box. But if you're going into Ableton or into your DAW and you're having to re-record because it's a mono synth, no, don't do that until the reveal part. So this is what Eddie wants to say about the EMT1. So Eddie's saying that everybody believes the EMT1 isn't multi-timbral because it can only play 4 sets of 4 preset voices from the factory. I discovered, this is Eddie, that you can change the voices through MIDI once inside the set. Nice. There you go. No, I don't watch the video, AZ Head. So Bert, you could definitely get me in trouble. But that's all right. I don't mind a joke or two. Definitely. The reason why I don't watch the video is because I kind of want to be part of it. I want to play as well. I want to kind of guess it as well. I keep it quiet though, but I just, you know, I play along. I'm trying to sort of work it out just like you guys. Last thing I want to do is the host of the show is sort of blurt out what it is, and then if I got it right, everyone would be like, redraw. Do you know what I mean? They'd be throwing their synths at the screen. But I purposely don't watch it because I actually do want to get surprised about what it is as well. I absolutely love this segment. It's something that I really, really enjoy, and I really, really appreciate Eddie for having that one ready for us. Yeah, so much appreciated. Eddie deserves to wear the Synth Lord hat, I think. So does Andy, of course. Andy can do his little meme dance now that it's out. It's been all over social media from last week. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so name that synth. We've done that, and that is it. We have reached the end of all the frivolities. Oh, hang on a sec. I'm getting messages now. So Sasquatch has just sent me a picture he wants me to share. All right, let's do that. Just give me a sec, guys. I'm gonna. It's not anything rude-ish. It's funny. Look at that instantaneous sharing of memes. Breaking: Yoko Ono threatens to have her music added to Spotify unless Joe Rogan is removed.
Oh, that's good.
It's a great photo of her, isn't it? Hey, that is a great photo. Yeah. Some say they've worked out the reason why John Lennon actually died.
Don't. Just don't.
All right, last thing we're going to do is we are going to talk about FFS. Hashtag FFS. Last year, I don't know if you guys remember, but Brooksy here, he was very gracious in starting off the FFS movement. A lot of it was based on a couple of things that happened. It wasn't just me. It wasn't just. There was a guy called mental blank, the guy that does the synth comparisons. What's his name? English Starsky, yeah, Starsky Carr. Him and I were doing videos where we're showing off synths and doing filter sweeps, and both of us are getting copyright claims against filter sweeps on a stupid synth. Like, for example, if I... Let's do one. What could possibly go wrong? Is it this camera or this camera? It is this camera, and it is this button here. So if I just went, where are we? There, and I just went like this, We're not going to do that with that waveform. Let's try it with this one. So we're just doing stuff like that on our videos and uploading them to YouTube, and we're getting copyright claims. So Andy started off the hashtag FFS movement, and last year it gained a fair bit of momentum. And really what it is, it's about the stupidity of the whole thing. Like, it's mental, isn't it, Andy? It's just mental. Like the people behind these algorithms, it's just crazy. So anyway, it's February's come around again, so we might as well, I reckon we should do it again this year, because it hasn't gone away. No one's fixed it. The algorithm is exactly the same as last year. There's definitely not been, like, I remember Starsky Carr was saying that he messaged me about a month ago saying he got another one. So it's still out there. Anyway, that Eddie's done this video, which we watched before. So this is his contribution for hashtag FFS, and you can do hashtag FFS on your video and hashtag FFS 2022. We did watch a bit of this before, but let's give it a go. Thank you very much, Eddie, for that submission. We appreciate your efforts, and much appreciated for starting off the movement again this year. I honestly forgot about it, and I'm glad that you brought it up. So yeah, everyone who's got a YouTube channel, upload your videos of your filter sweeps, and let's hammer the whole thing that Andy started last year was to hammer the algorithm, wasn't it, Andy? So you want to have a quick chat about why you started it?
Yeah, you put me on the spot, Rance. Thanks. Well, I mean, like you said last year, it was what, at the end of one of these streams, and you'd done one of your rants about how silly it was, and I thought, why don't we do it? Why don't we just stick up a video? It only has to be sort of 30 seconds long, and just stick them up on YouTube. February filter sweep, hashtag FFS, and just stick up as well. I mean, in the end, there was well over 100 videos put up that I found and saw. What we didn't do last year, which I think we probably should have done, was actually perhaps have a roundup of some of them. But again, the time that it would have taken to sort of compile stuff or do stuff when we're all well, actually it was during lockdown, wasn't it? But anyway, it sort of happened and then sort of stopped, really, or fizzled out. And I spent sort of a lot of February replying to every single one of these videos and things, going, yeah, thanks very much, that's amazing, well done. And then the next one, thanks very much, amazing, well done. And it was like, whoa. But then actually, what also came out of it was a lot of people who are in the chat now. That was my sort of first point of contact with those people back then, and saying thanks very much. And some people I'm sort of still in touch with through that, so that's been lovely. But yeah, I think it's certainly something we can do. Why not? Yeah, I've not even given it any thought, you see, Ranzee, so you've just thrown it at me. Depends what people in the chat say. Are we going to do it? Can we do it? Is everybody willing to do it? certainly sticking out there again.
If they're willing to do it or not, I think
groups.
some people will. So just quickly, while we're talking about that, Marcus Fuller, as you guys know, he's in the chat room right now. He's got a great YouTube channel, which you should go check out. He just said that he's put a video up and got a copyright claim. Who did he say it was? The Orchard Music claiming copyright over a Yamaha keyboard built in a demo tune. It's insane. It's insane. So Marcus, join the FFS movement. Do a video hashtag FFS. You're now warring with the well battered people.
Should we agree on what it should be then? Hashtag FFS22 probably makes sense to differentiate it from the previous ones. Or should it all just be all in the same bundle? See, I probably won't find them again, but I'll be finding all the.
I think if we put FFS 2022, and then if you can have multiple hashtags. So I think if you put hashtag FFS and then hashtag FFS22, Wagoo last year did the collection of all the videos from it. Sensien's asked, if you show them on here, you'll probably get demonetized. Well, I don't know if I'll show them on here. It'll be more of a social media thing. So if I put a video up, just like everyone else, then I'm definitely going to get a claim against it. It's not going to demonetize me with one claim, I don't think. But what we'll do is we'll just all post our videos into our favourite Facebook group. That's the best way to do it. Just hammer Facebook groups about it. I don't think we'll show them all on the show. I think it'll just get a bit boring after a while. We might show a few. How many sweeps can you hear? This one's a Moog. This one's a Yamaha DX7 filter sweep.
Well, of course, it got a bit like that. But then there was some sort of different one. Some people did sweeps which were not filter sweeps. There was definitely one that was like there was a sync sweep, and there was one that was like a ring mod.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
I suppose it was just proving the point, really, more than anything else.
So Ian's just asked, we can get claims we should contest them. Yeah, so you can contest your claim, which is what I did last year, and I got all my claims removed. So I think Starsky Carr was saying that he managed to get most of his removed. I think one of them ended up staying. So it will be one of those things. Last year, Sonic State mentioned it on the show, so we might see if I can get Nick to mention it again on his show. Yeah. So let's do FFS again. We've got 23 days left of the month, so plenty of time. Anytime during the month of February we can do it. I think it's a good thing. And the whole reason why we're doing it is just to show how stupid the algorithm is. Really, it's just stupid. Like, if you want to find out more about the innuendo and the real more serious side of it, if you go and look at my rant video that I did about a year ago on my channel, it goes into why it's stupid, and then we talk about people like Rick Beato, so yeah. he's gone to Congress with this.
What constitutes fair use?
Yeah. In America. So, like, this is not just a small thing. Like, this is basically... I remember one guy, he replied to my rant video, and he said to me, well, it's your choice if you want to be on their platform and they choose to claim copyright on a video that you put on their platform. That's not the point. The point is that they can't claim a copyright on something that I can purchase from a shop and put onto an album, or you know what I mean? Like that, all I'm doing is just doing the basic thing that this synthesizer can do. It's not exactly claimable. It's not a claimable thing. It's like saying, well, I'm going to claim the note of C now, right? So no one can ever play the C note, middle C1 C note, right? I can't play that. No one can play that anymore because I'm claiming it. Like that. It's just how ridiculously stupid the whole thing is. I mean, even, as recent as Marcus Fuller getting one, so I think it's stupid. People are talking about doing filter sweeps on their DX7s now. If you were smart and you knew how to program...
People did.
If you know how to program your sine wave operators, you could do it. If you knew how to do it, you could do it.
There were definitely some which were DX filter sweep emulations. There were definitely
they were
a handful of those in there.
Yep, absolutely.
And they were nicely done. I can't remember exactly who did them all now, but they definitely were.
Well, Wagoo will probably tell you in chat how many there were. I'm pretty sure there was well over 100. Well over 100.
Oh, there were.
Yeah. It was pretty good. So solidarity with all the fellow synth guys out there. Do your hashtag FFS 2022 on hashtag FFS. Put your videos up onto your YouTube channel. Yeah. So
here we go.
Let's do it. Ian saying he had a claim on a teaching video he did playing a piece of music that is out of copyright. Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? What's out of copyright? Who holds the publishing? Now, there might be all sorts of... It's a nightmare, the whole copyright publishing thing, because the laws aren't consistent from one country to another.
Yeah.
You know, every country's got its own set of laws as to what's allowable, what's not allowable. Certainly platforms like, obviously, YouTube, Spotify, any of the sort of social media will have their interpretation of what those rules are, and will apply a blanket policy then, and then that's where you run into trouble. I mean, certainly YouTube with their algorithm, I mean, because it's listening for things, you know, that's not necessarily series of notes. I mean, it's the whole thing is slightly balmy.
Well, it's broken, isn't it? That's the point. It's broken.
Yeah,
it's aimed to benefit someone who's in a position to make a few cents off you and a few cents off the next person. And when you add up all those few cents that they're claiming off each YouTube provider, it adds up to be quite a considerable amount of money.
That isn't what copyright was for. I mean, this is now the problem that the copyright was originally introduced to protect people's creative work, whether it was written, whether it was composed, whether it was painted, whether it was photographed, whatever it was designed to protect that and ensure that they got due credit for it and payment when it was used, i.e. when a song's played on the radio, when a photograph is published in a newspaper, and so on. And now, because of digital media, it's digital media that's broken it, because it's so easy to copy and paste and publish. I mean, like that, really. And you've taken something that intellectually belongs to somebody else and distributed it to an audience for no return. And that's the problem, obviously, if it's a piece of music. There are royalties. But I mean, when a song is played on the radio, I mean, I think when a song gets played on Radio 1 here, Radio 1 has to pay £100 for the right to play it. Each song that is played. And it soon mounts up. I mean, that's because somebody owns that and they're due a fee. But it's like, if you're standing at your synth and you're going, meow, you're playing your synth. It's a new piece of music. It's new intellectual copyright, technically. So you cannot possibly get a copyright claim against it because you yourself have created it. And that's where the whole thing becomes utterly balmy. And your brain starts to turn into scrambled eggs after a bit.
I mean, if you had bags of cash and you had teams of lawyers that you had access to, you could really make some of these people wish they never did this. Like, for example, if you think about it, like when I put my video up last year, I've had more than one since then, but and I got the first one, and they took it off. I could then go after them for like pain and suffering and stuffing me about, like everything. There's so many things I could go after them about and make a hell of a lot more money than what they would have attempted to make just out of their little 1 or 2 cents that they would have made out of my copyright claim. So I think someone needs to...
Can you afford the risk?
Oh, I can't. But I think someone who's got a bigger set of testicles than I have and a bigger wallet could probably do it. I mean, one of the things, Andy, is like when I actually make my thumbnails for my videos, and all of my thumbnails I have to take with my own camera. Like I've got to go and grab my camera and take photos, put them in nice light, take photos of it. Because if I use someone else's photo And that, say for example, if I'm taking a photo of a synth and it hasn't been released by the manufacturer, it's been released by someone else, I could be in trouble for using their photo without permission. So even with photos, you've got to be careful. And so I'm really careful about like all these things. And you know, I've done videos where I've played music from well-known artists as covers, and I've got copyright claims against the covers. Sometimes they'll do what they call a share. So they'll share, it's usually like a 50, I don't know if it's 50-50, but it's supposed to be 50-50. It's probably more like 10-90 by the time YouTube take their cut. But like, I mean, the amount of money that I earn on this YouTube channel, by the way, is not even, you'd be lucky if you could pay for a mobile phone with it. It's very, very little money. But even still, it's not the point. The point is that, yeah, like if you are using someone else's music, then I expect there to be some sort of repercussion with that, and that's fair enough. Sometimes I don't. Like I've done Jean-Michel Jarre stuff, and he hasn't touched me. And he actually has gone out on social media and said, I want people to reproduce my music. He's actually said that, and I think that's big of him to do. And there's other people who, you know, we won't name any bands because I don't want to get in trouble, but they are completely the opposite. They're very, very ruthless with it. They won't allow anyone to, you know, even slightly, you know, even a tiny little segment of it. They won't allow any of it. Yeah. I mean, this stuff's been going on for years. I mean, what was that Led Zeppelin song, Stairway to Heaven, and someone had taken them in and out of court for decades, and finally they managed to, I don't know, prove that they stole the melody or something from another song. It was like a massive, long, legal, arduous battle. I mean, who has the nous to do that sort of crap? I don't. So yeah. Robert Fripp is mellowing out now. Yeah. So anyway, hashtag FFS. That was all that about. There was a lot of different topics today on this show. That's why we couldn't give it a theme because there was just so many things. Oh, before we go, we've got about a little bit of time. I was going to show you. I did show it at the start of the show, but this is more just for indulgence of anything. I was going to show you the FX Aid. You guys wanted to see that, didn't you? Correct? Andy, you wanted to see the FX Aid in action?
Yes.
Wanted to hear what it sounds like?
There we go.
So,
yeah. I need no convincing.
Oh, you don't need any convincing, but let's have a listen to it. Let me put the 2600 through it. So I'll take the delay off of that and I'll just... We'll just let that tail off into oblivion for you, Mr. Brooks. Thanks, Magoo, for the Swiss. Is it Swiss? Yeah, it's the Swiss francs. Swiss francs.
About a tenner.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
What do you think of the FX Aid?
I think well, generally, when people have said when they've been sort of talking about it and reviewing it, that it sounds better than it has any right to for the amount that it costs.
Yeah, it's not noisy like some of the other FX modules that you get.
As good a reason as any. I mean, lots of people out there have got them. I mean, they are a pretty ubiquitous. That's a good word. Ubiquitous module.
Ubiquitous, yes.
Then next month there'll be one sitting in this rack because I will get one. I better get a silver one since you've got a black one, haven't I?
Well, I got a second-hand one, so I didn't really get a choice what colour it was. It was just like, ooh, that guy's selling one, and that's a pretty decent price. I'm grabbing that. And literally, the moment it was on a Facebook group that I'm part of called Aussie Wigglers, the moment that I bought it, the group lit up because I literally saw him post it within a few seconds of him posting it, and I bought it straight away. And the group lit up like, you bastard! Like, it was like all these jealous people. Freeze. You're not going to freeze, are you?
Yeah, well, I've just got a message saying chat disconnected. Please wait while. Blah, 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 blah. So probably yeah.
Okay, what I wanted to quickly show you. I don't know how I'm going to show you this. Oh, I guess I could put that on the Mac screen. Yeah. Let me just give me a sec. I want to show you the FX list. This will be really, really cool to see. If I just paste it into here. Okay. Give me a sec, guys. 1 sec. I'm just going to get a PDF up for you guys to have a look at. This is what I like about this module. It's got like crazy amount of stuff in it. Check this out. So this is the first page. So you've got tap delay, tape delay, I should say, ping pong delay, HP, low pass, high pass, frequency shift, pitch shift, clock sync, comb, magneto. So it's got a magneto delay, which I haven't tried yet. Delay into dual shimmer, delay into reverb. It's got vowel filters, delay vowels, wave folder, sample rate reducer, bit crusher, flanger phaser. Now the Phaser Classic 12 is similar to the Moog Foga, but digital, of course. Pitch shifter dual, frequency shift up and down, chorus into reverb, and then all the reverbs. You've got spring, plate, room, hall with chorus, black hole, which is the Eventide one, which was one I was just using just then. And you've got cloud, which is the Strymon clone. You've got grey hole light, shimmer. There's two shimmers. I tried one of the shimmers and it didn't sound anything like the original shimmer. So that is a hell of a lot of effects to choose from out of one module. And that's only the algorithm that I've got loaded. You can actually load your own algorithms in there as well. So yeah, there you go. More and more reason to get it. People keep messaging me. What's this one, Andy, that you're showing me?
Yeah, oh no, that was, you'll get a copyright sting if you play it though. You might be able to show the screen. It was something that Robin Vincent mentioned on his live stream
yes.
weekend.
Yeah.
It's the Kingston University Stylophone Orchestra. I thought, oh, I'll have a listen to that. So I downloaded it and it's great. It really is such good fun. There's a lot of cover versions on it. Some pretty obvious things like Jean-Michel Jarre, we were speaking about Oxygen 4 and Space Oddity and Blade Runner and various things. But it's just great. I mean, not everything on it is stylophone because there's singing on it, there's drums, percussion, but it's quite fab. I really have enjoyed listening to that this week. And I just thought, yeah, let's give it a plug out here. It's just makes you smile. And that's as good a reason as any just to go and give it a listen, if nothing else.
Let me just grab that link and I'll paste that into the chat. You haven't done that yet, have you?
No, I didn't put it in the chat.
Give me a sec, I'll do that now. Beautiful, done. That's it. Okay, cool. All right, we will wrap the show up, I think, I think that's pretty much exhausted all the news and everything for this week. Many thanks to the chatties who've been an amazing part of the show. So a few people were just joining in at the last second, but that's okay. You can always watch the replay. And then many thank yous to Darren, who's been a stalwart of this show, like a pillar of awesomeness in holding up the fort with his pearls of wisdom. Yes. Thank you very much, Darren.
I wouldn't say wisdom, but...
Well, yeah. Anyway, don't sell any of those Eurorate modules without telling me first. That's your message for the week. Yeah. Don't worry about that boy.
No, I didn't say I was selling it. No, I was saying.
Don't worry about the boy in Sheffield. Yeah, leave the boy in Sheffield alone. The boy in Australia. That's who you got to look after. Mr. Brooks, much appreciated.
Hey, if you look at the thing, a lot of people don't ship to Australia.
Yes.
Oh,
but you will.
Darren, have you got a label that says "Don't ship to Australia"? What a shame. Right,
Yeah.
What a shame.
Anyway, Mr. Brooks.
It'll end up in Tahiti or somewhere like that, won't it?
Thank you for being on the show, and please enjoy more of your bacillumus and other frivolities.
Maybe
Very, very good.
FFS with that, actually. Yeah,
Yes.
I'll stick that through some. Yeah, actually, there you go.
Yeah.
Do that now.
Yeah, chuck it through the. Well, you could chuck it through anything, couldn't you? You know what? I need to do a filter sweep using the multi-mode resonator, the 1047. That thing is insanely resonant. That's one of the most resonant filters I've ever heard. Anyway, much appreciated, everyone. Toodaloo. Have a nice weekend for the rest of it, and we bid you farewell. See you next week with more fun and gags and synths. Toodaloo.